Oh man, I was down the beach all day today, and we rushed getting back. Son loves the Jersey Shore, so we made it a day. But I'm prepped up here. There's a lot of excitement for this discussion. Definitely should have a nice size audience.
Well, I haven't done this before, so.
Oh, it's okay, man. Just right. Pretend you're just talking with the guys right here, the three of us.
Sure.
Oh, is this your first stream, Jeremy?
Oh yeah.
Man, for as big as you are, I'm surprised. Your stuff is major. Has anybody even asked you to come on one of their shows yet?
No, not really. I mean, I'm either modeling or I'm not. So
right.
I lose a lot of time being on camera service.
Well, Jeremy, I really appreciate you coming on. It's really kind of you. And I'm telling you, the stuff, just the biggest by far, and we'll talk about this in the show, was the tilt wall. It was so unbelievable during Gary Con. It was excellent. Unbelievable setup. And I
got to play with that thing.
Yes, that's right. You played the evil guy who showed up. Sir Bargain, the merciless. Oh, that was fun. Yeah, Mike was a special guest at the end.
Yeah, everybody enjoyed that terrain so much. Really, really incredible stuff. And then of course what Bill did with it.
Oh yeah, it's nothing without someone like that.
Bill is
just a hand artist.
Yeah,
Bill is the master crafter, right, Bill?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. We got a little reverb though.
Got a little echo.
Yep.
How's that?
No echo now.
No echo now, that's right.
No echo now. Hey, Troy, good to see you tonight.
Look at all those. Look at all that 3D printed, beautiful terrain right beside Bill.
Yeah, Bill's working on a ton, man.
That one?
There it is.
Look at that. How does that make you feel, Jeremy, when you see it painted up?
It's
Every time I see my stuff, I'm really surprised it actually worked.
But all painted up, that's got to give you butterflies a little bit.
Oh
right?
yeah. I certainly don't have time. It's like I got people. Sometimes I get to do a speed paint or something, and that's about it. It's on the next thing. So yeah, it's great to see them when they get done up well, especially the big ones.
Hey, Taryn, watch this. Boom! I got a Taryn shout out in. Yay! So, Bill, good to see you, man. Thanks for sending me those pics last second, by the way.
Oh, no problem. Well, that was the progress made today. I got some greens on there. I got to add greenery and some other stuff to it, but it's getting closer.
Bill doesn't half-ass anything, as you guys can see, you know.
Yeah,
so, and that's the great thing about Bill. Whoops, I missed our my cue to hit this. That's not good. So I need a new ad, Jeremy.
All right. Let's see what I can do.
I mean, I think, were you going to do a new Kickstarter coming up soon? A new roads or?
I don't know. I'm going to cut back on my stress levels a little bit.
Hey, it's understandable, man.
Out.
That's understandable, but yeah, I got it. I know the feeling. So
I can do a new ad with the new Patreon and stuff. It's just I got all the gear to do it. It's just.
I mean, people love. I'm telling you, the roads are awesome, man. People love them.
I got another Kickstarter with Amazon. It's just finding the time. I'm putting so much time in on Patreon.
Sure, you gotta remember, I got a little bit. I got a little sun tonight, Cannibal. So yeah, that's what it is. It's that sun. But I'm all right. Oh yeah, this is Keller DeSama. This is Jeremy Doctor, who's our special guest tonight, along with Mike Disney, both sponsors of the show. And yes, this is all Gamescape 3D. That is unbelievable. That set. Oh my gosh, we haven't even gotten to that yet. The swamp, right, Bill? I mean, once again.
No, eventually I want to make a swamp board maybe and make it a sectional
Yeah.
And incorporate all that stuff into a small board.
And I got all that goblin swamp stuff.
Yeah, we have a couple. We have the one. We have the one outpost building that we've
All
used
right.
because it's
Well,
nice for
there's
sets.
3 buildings, so.
We're gonna hit up another 3D company too, Infinite Dimensions here, because you know these guys are awesome too.
Yeah, they are.
They are. So the arena, where you instead of doing a joust for virtual ground comp, we're gonna do a grand melee, and we have the arena printed up already. We had someone else print it for us. We just don't have. Bill just doesn't have the time, so.
It's on the list.
Yeah, it's on the. It's at Bill's house. It's just to get put together.
It's sitting upstairs on my kitchen table right now because I haven't made it down to the basement.
Yeah. Bill's been taking a beating, so. Plus, Jeremy Mike Bones 5 ships this week. Oh my God. Right?
Oh,
Reaper Bones
how did
5.
you find that information out?
They told. They said it on the show on their show Friday night.
Yeah, they're gonna start. Only if your shipment is complete, though. If your shipment's not complete, when the parts come in, then you'll move to the head of the line. But if your order's not complete, it's getting held up.
What do you mean if your shipment's not complete? If your order's not complete? Like if you haven't paid?
There's pieces.
No, they still have 2 containers that haven't come in yet, and there's some loose pieces in there.
I heard the pirate ship is not in.
Well, the ghost ship is not in.
Oh, okay. We didn't order the ghost ship. We ordered a regular ship.
You know
So
what?
yeah, you ordered the ghost ship, and everything else is ready. It's not going to ship until the ghost ship is available.
Well, I didn't get the ghost ship.
No, I got the regular ship too. We got the regular
Yeah,
ship.
I got the regular ship. I was just way too. I went too crazy in that Kickstarter. And,
all of us. We probably got like 500 pieces coming.
well, you know what I have in my hand right now.
You got.
I know what you
the
got.
overgorg in your hand. See, Jeremy. So Mike.
That's a loaded
Mike,
question,
Mike
man.
made
You
a
gotta watch
monster.
that.
Mike made a monster for Reaper, and they printed it, and they did a sculpt for it. So
cool.
called the overgorg. We're gonna give one of those prints away. Another one of those prints tonight. So Mike, really is talented.
Thank you.
And then I still have a diorama to work on for something else that Mike did.
Thanks, Bitter Kiwi. I'll get you that. What was
I'll
that?
be sending you guys an
Oh.
overboard, Bill.
I still gotta work and start the diorama for this bad boy.
Yeah.
Did you hear me though? I'm gonna send you guys an overboard. I'm gonna let you paint it up.
Oh, that's
Oh,
awesome.
uh,
Yeah. Yes,
The
please.
Blue Box doesn't have anybody to paint their overboard. They don't have really a painter, I don't think.
Yeah, they do. They Evelyn, right? Vivi,
No, not Evelyn. Lilith.
Lilith. Yeah.
Yeah, but she's in Canada. She's not
Hey, what's
there.
up, Grandelwolf? So
Yeah, I've been saving all kind. I really haven't decided if I'm going to do an overgrown cemetery or do the Hag's Hut piece of terrain for the overboard.
starting off. Good evening, everyone.
Yeah, I think that would be where the overboard was born. I think that would be a great piece of terrain. The Witch's Hut.
I can't wait for that piece. I agree 100%. And I think
Yeah,
that
'cause
goes
I'm thinking I might.
His dad's.
It's on my Streamlabs. I'm an idiot.
I'm thinking I might print Jeremy's one of the Irish huts. And
Nice.
use that as the base, and then build the terrain around that. And there's some cool little huts.
Well, Cannonball. That's how the overboard is supposed to be.
Hey, Gitano, just follow. At least you can follow the channel at least, all right, man? With that new account, I appreciate it. Hit that follow button. I know you on a new account there, free and clean.
But
So,
yeah, it's supposed to be a horror movie. 100% is supposed to be a horror movie.
all right, everyone. Yeah, we have Waterfront Pier pieces called this summit mostly from Venture Building Authority, which I used Thursday night a lot. They got some good stuff, but there's probably a lot available for 3D prints as well. I bet you think there's a lot of that too.
Well, our other sponsor has a ton of
Infinite
great
does.
Waterfront stuff. Stone docks and wooden docks through printable scenery, or
There you go.
or not Infinite Dimensions. Printable scenery has.
Yeah,
Sorry,
no, printable scenery is not sponsored.
Printable scenery.
Yeah, they won't sponsor anyone, but who cares? We have all we need. So tonight, everyone, this is going to be an awesome discussion. We do these crafting shows, every 3 to 6 months? We got to start doing them more, because this is the things that we're putting out on our table. We really want to share them with you all, and to this. So I just come on 2 minutes early. Wait a minute. Cannot wait for it. Cannot wait for that.
Licorice.
Got some licorice in there?
Oh yeah.
I'll show you a pic or two as well. Just remind me, okay, about that. There we go. People are still rolling. Good evening, everyone. I'm J.K. Lord Gazumba. Welcome to another Gabbin tonight. Normally we talk about, D&D. We go in depth into Greyhawk or D&D rules or whatever, but tonight we're going to go and do one of these we do every couple months, and that's crafting. And I got 3 experts with me tonight, really fantastic and talented people, all of them. And without any of them, without all of them, our table wouldn't be what it is that we come out and play with. So let me welcome all 3. First off, one of our, not new, but our first 3D print sponsor, and I don't know how you do it, Jeremy. 24 hours, 7 days a week. But Jeremy Gosser, Gamescape 3D, welcome. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
So Jeremy, tell us a little bit about your company.
I'll,
Take your time.
well, I just model things and I put them on Patreon, and people seem to like them, and that's about it.
So
I started out doing some Kickstarters, and then eventually I moved over into Patreon, mostly to avoid sales tax complications. I felt like it was a little bit of a safer venue.
The reason I asked that is, are you a one-man wrecking crew, one-man team? You do it all.
I do all the modeling, customer service, all the photography, all the everything, which is why sometimes some of the things are not done so well.
Oh, don't say that, man.
No, I mean, you have to cut corners in certain places if you want, like graphic design is not going to be the thing I put a lot of time into.
Right.
And just things like that, suffer.
Well, welcome and thank you, and please, I know there's going to be a ton of questions out there. I have a ton myself. I know Mike and Bill both do, and so welcome to Gabbin for the first time. Thank you so very much.
Thank you,
Mike Disney. Everyone knows Mike. Mike has been around, played in a lot of my games, and has done some awesome paint jobs. Mike, welcome back, man.
Hey, thank you for having me back. I appreciate it. It's really cool to be here with Jeremy. Just met him a couple of minutes ago, and of course the legend, the man Bill, the master crafter. It's always good to be on. So thank you again, Jay, for having me. I appreciate it.
And Mike's got some fun things coming too that we want to discuss. In particular, something that's about this big with one head and a whole bunch of other heads around it, and we're excited about that, amongst some other things too. And then finally, let's be honest. I have a game with a. Please don't anyone take offense to this. I have a game with a bunch of old white guys sitting around a table with just playing without the talents of Bill, my good friend Bill, who I call Bill the Master Crafter. Dude, thanks for coming back on.
Yeah, no problem. And believe me, I did not give myself the Master Crafter name. That's all Jay.
Well, you can see, and you've all seen the stuff. Yeah, how could there be offense? Well, Katana, you know how it is with offense. I just don't. There's a lot of that going on out there. Let me state one thing. I'm only going to ever say this once. Whatever's going on out there in that TSR world, stay away from it. Just let it play out. That's all I'm saying. It's ugly. So let's just leave it at that and move on that debacle and stay away from that. So
You're talking about the new TSR that's out?
yeah, there's some issue. Yeah, there's some
Okay.
awful stuff going on Twitter. Let's stay away from it. So exactly, Gaetano. So some things. Bill and I were talking back in the day, and we had Reaper as a sponsor, Miniature Building Authority as a sponsor, and so we were talking. And Bill, why don't you tell about how we got into 3D printing, and then how we found Jeremy. I was like, wow.
Well, we were sitting around on a Saturday night eating cheesesteaks, and our talk always ends up being about game stuff, and the wives went in the other room, and we're sitting in the kitchen looking on iPads, and we're just looking at some of the 3D terrain sites, and it all started because of boats. Really, we were looking at boats, and we're like, man, this stuff is great, because we wanted to do more ship-to-ship stuff, and thought it'd be a blast. And really, that's how it started. And Jay got quiet, and he starts typing away on his iPad. And next thing I know, there was a 3D printer showed up, and it's like, okay, well, we reached out, we got a sponsor, and we guess who's printing stuff and painting it.
Yeah.
So, but it's definitely changed the way we play, and changed the appearance of our table.
Absolutely. And what I'm going to do is I have another screen set so I can share big pictures of things. Before we move forward, we're going to have 3 giveaways tonight, okay? Let me flip over here. 3 giveaways, almost identical to the ones we did last Thursday. This is, Jeremy, why don't you describe this? It's your...
Wow.
It's just, it's a tower I built. Like, people have been in the scene, had been talking about wanting to start making bigger things, and started out with this tower, which was originally at the time of the Kickstarter 2 feet tall, and by the time I was done with it, it was also 3 feet long. So it's got sort of a courtyard, a 2-layer courtyard out in front of it, and then it's got some air docks out the back, and it's got about 3 layers of rooms going across horizontally, which you can't really see in that picture.
Yeah, it's
but
unbelievable.
it takes about 13 rolls of filament to make the whole thing.
1 kilogram rolls?
Yes. I don't know if
Gary, oh my gosh.
A guy by the name of Gary Turley over in England printed the whole thing and painted it up pretty nice, but I haven't seen too many copies of it. Maybe
that's a lot of printing.
2 or 3. Yeah.
It's a lot. Yeah, it's huge.
It is, but it is. I don't know how many rolls the ruins took. That had to take 4. I think it took 4 full rolls. The ruins that won, and that was
sounds right.
Yeah. So I mean, that this takes 13, and there's some other accessories here, but this is the penultimate piece. And Jeremy's going to give we're going to give the STLs away for this tonight, and I think you have them on your site for $60.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. Yep. That we're going to give that away tonight. Plus, we're going to give away 2 things from Mike Disney. And Mike is, Mike with his overgorg. We're going to give away, the wonderful Mike. Oh, I didn't put it on the right page. See, there, Jay messed up. There we go. The wonderful Mike Disney overgorg print signed by Mike. We're going to give one of those away, and also another painted miniature of his great Scarn. This is mine, by the way. That's my Scarn that I got. So he's not getting that. You're not getting that one, but you're getting one.
Can't get that one.
Yeah, you are going to get one. So we'll do 3 giveaways tonight. So I'll set that up for everyone. And thank you all for coming on. We got over 100, right around 100 people on right now watching. So very, 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 very cool. All right, so we started in the 3D print world, and I found Jeremy's site, and I was like, wow, this is some really cool stuff, because I was looking mostly at roads. Right, because our roads sucked. I'm gonna be blunt here. We had they were terrible, absolutely terrible. And some things like this is a pic, and why didn't that pop up? There we go. There's a pic of just your King's Road, and how that makes a town just by, putting that in and then having it connected to the dirt roads
Looks
right here.
incredible.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice. It's really
And the way Bill did it up too. Look at the way Bill has it done up. It
Yeah.
just looks like real stone. Bill, you did a great job on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I go over the roads and fill them with a mix of different unsanded tile grouts. So it looks like the grout in between, so it's our mortar. And that's essentially what I did on this too. The entire thing was brushed over, tamped in, sprayed,
Hey,
and
Rob.
then brushed to get the excess off. So just add some detail and color into the cracks.
And Bill's really good with the grouting aspect of it. So let me set up the giveaway. Let's could you, Jeremy, Mike, and Bill, all three of you? We'll start with Jeremy. Tell us the printers you have and the types, whether they're PLA or resin. What you're using right now out there for your prints. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Okay. I use two kinds of IBM printers. I use Anycubics, iMega 3s. I just ordered a new one that's supposed to print at 100 millimeters per second at the same quality as the old ones.
Wow.
Which print at 50. So I should get that soon, and we'll see if it holds up to the hype. The other company I use is Quiddy. They do higher end printers that are pretty tough to break. If you're willing to spend 700 or 1,000, they make a real durable product. And then for the resin printers, I've always stuck with the Elegoo. I think that's how it's pronounced.
Yep, Elegoo Mars.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I got a few generations. Well, I got 2 generations of those, and then I guess I'll pick up a 3 when they come out. And I've tried numerous other printers that I won't name, but those are the ones that I've really stuck with.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. So, I want to, thank you very much for your kindness to us on that. Bill's excited. Bill was excited, let me tell you. And we're going to show some of those Patreon pics of stuff coming up that really resin printers the way you need to go because of the detail level on some of those prints. Absolutely. So, Mike,
Well,
what do you
I think the speed
okay.
is. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Jeremy. Go ahead. Yeah, absolutely. Please tell us.
I was just going to say this. The speed has been picking up too on those resin printers, and that makes it a lot more. In the future, it's like these bigger printers are getting faster. It makes it more possible to use it for areas of a building, even though the resin's still kind of expensive. That's all I wanted to mention.
Well, if you were lucky, you had Amazon Prime Day, and you could get a whole bunch at 25% off, which was fortunate for us. So, Mike, what are you using?
I have 2 Elegoo Mars, the very first edition ones that still run perfect. They're slow. They're not as fast as the 4K screen ones that are out now, but I have a mini frozen that's a 4K screen, and it's pretty fast. So I run 3 resin printers and print out just a lot of monsters. They're not big enough to do terrain, unfortunately. I don't have room for filament. I do. I don't have one right now. So but they're not large enough to print out terrain, but I do print out very large minis and put them together in sections and do what I can on it right now. So
yeah. And Bill, what do we have?
We're running an Ender 5. We will be running an Ender 3, and due to Jeremy's generosity, we'll be running the Elegoo Mars 2 shortly.
Yep.
Very nice.
Yep.
I'm building a printing area in the back of my basement, but I'm having an electrical issue, so I got to get somebody to come in and take a look. So once that's done, I'll have the full print shop up running in the back.
Yeah. In the meantime, we're making do with one at a time. So we are printing. Well, let's talk about some. We need more power. We need a lot of stuff. The giveaways are set up. Everyone, please feel free to sign up for them. So, cost-wise, Jeremy, what would be like to get into the industry? to get in and print for your own home game, and you want to do your buildings, you want to do terrain, what would you recommend? I'm assuming you recommend a PLA for building production, and which one do you have any preferences there?
For just starting out, I would start out with the Anycubic printers.
Okay.
That's just my personal preference. I know a lot of people use the Enders and Creality products, but I find that they have a tendency to send out printers that'll have a loose screw or a loose bolt here or there, and that can be a real major problem if you're just starting out, don't even know what you're looking for. If you're someone who's been doing it a long time, you figure it out right away. But if you want something cheap out of the box that works, I think that's a good printer.
So a couple questions. Cathay asked, Bill, do we have a BL Touch on the Ender? Does it auto bed level?
No, I got a manually level.
It's a manual level. Okay. What do we do for ventilation to mitigate health concerns? Is another quick question here.
I have everything out in my garage. And I also run a maker space, but in that space, we have a whole vented closet. So there's no interaction between the people and fumes. So I pretty much just have one printer in my office, and I'm not in here when it's running. I just will open up the windows. I mean, I don't know what the effects of PLA is. If it's just like one printer, I assume if there's a whole bunch of them running, that's bad for you eventually. But I know the danger is a lot less than, say, ABS or something like that.
Yeah, we've been told that PLA you really don't need to ventilate. It's mostly resin. It's more. Is that the truth for the most part? Resin's the one you need to worry about.
So far, that's what they're saying.
Okay. Okay.
I don't, and it's the same thing for like that liquid plastic resin. When you're doing your mold making and stuff, they say room ventilation is enough for that as well. So I guess it's kind of in that same category.
Okay. Mike, how about you, man? Do you worry about that at all? Answers his own question.
No, I'm a rebel and a cowboy, and the concerns are I don't smell it. I keep my area clean. I know it should be ventilated, but I don't have anywhere to put it. I obviously can't sit here with my windows open and stuff, but no.
Yeah, it gets a little cold in Michigan.
Yeah. I don't really do a vent, so
okay.
They sit about 5 feet away from me.
So I'm gonna throw something up here that I want to hear this.
Oh man, look at that right there is what I can't wait to start printing.
Oh yeah, see that? Yeah, all right. So this is we're gonna bounce, Jeremy. We always bounce around these shows, so let's do that. Let's bounce around because this is, I believe, a July Patreon. There's some June in here and some July. So let me just start off the bat with this coming up here. I saw, July.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to come out in July.
That is
great sculpting is what that is.
Yeah, that is unbelievable. I mean, that is so what are we missing, Bill? We're missing fungi. We're missing violet fungies, all that, right? And this is perfect for
yeah. I mean, it's all growing on a tree stump, but there's no reason I couldn't, somebody couldn't take that and gray it out and make it stone and put it in their caverns, or you brown it up and make it for the forest.
Yeah, absolutely. It's perfect.
Well, I mean, I can do more fungus. Fungus is actually relatively easy compared to most other things. And I just did them on the logs because a lot of people have done fungus, and I wanted something that was like intentionally being farmed.
Yep, that makes sense.
Oh yeah, that'd be great for farms and stuff around. I could see that, all those stumps sitting around a bunch of hobbit holes.
Or you could do that. You could do that on the edge of a lake or a little pond and do a lot of phosphorescent paint on that. I can see a lot of. It almost looks like it's on coral instead of logs, But I can see. Of course, I see the logs, but you see what I'm saying. You can put a lot of phosphorus.
You can do a lot with it, absolutely.
Yeah, you can put some really bright blues and whites, and just really gorgeous colors in there. Yeah.
And these are all printed in resin. How it wouldn't take that long to print these 4 out, I'm assuming, because they're probably small pieces.
No, I think I printed them in all 4 of them on one plate in an hour and a half.
There you go. Yeah.
I've started putting big holes in the bottom, bigger holes. I've started using water-based resin a lot because it's easier to clean up. One problem I've noticed with the water-based resins, though, is that when you have your prints in a space that isn't controlled in terms of heat and humidity, if any uncured resin gets trapped in there, it blows apart the model after a few days. So when you're doing these and you're setting them up to print, if you're using water-based resins, it's really important to make sure that you're not going to have any closed off cavity, or just, keep them in a controlled environment all the time. And that's a problem I don't have with my messier stuff.
Okay. But
So,
it's much safer to work with a water base, I'm assuming, is what you're
well,
saying.
you don't get sticky all over the place. You can wash it off. You still want to keep it off your hands and stuff. So I still have gloves on, but
Okay.
yeah, the cleanup's just a lot easier.
Awesome.
With the sticky, it just eventually it goes everywhere. You'd have to be a certain kind of personality to stay clean with the stuff.
Here's these are June, I believe. This is June Patreon market stalls.
Yeah, and then the back walls, the tabletops are all changeable, so those slide in the back. One thing I wanted to get to that I don't think I'm going to get done, I wanted to put some little banners across the top of the roof there. I might have to wait, but for this next month, I got done with some weapon stalls, people selling weapons or whatever, and I also did a bookstore, scribe supply booth for the smaller of the two.
The detail on these is so awesome. Look at the teeth on the saw on the right. I mean, that's fantastic. It is. And this is the stuff that differentiates us from other terrain streamers, is the dungeon dressing and the little details that go into when you put in, we love Dwarven Forge, right, Mike? Dwarven Forge is great, but if you have Dwarven Forge, you don't have anything to put in it. It's kind of open and empty. So if you get these little details here and there and put them in and it really makes the.
You need a fruit stand, Jay.
Yeah, we do for hoops. Well, how about and this is the other one. I think there is one here, but this is the other one you said that started this conversation. I
love the meats one. That's awesome.
Yeah. So Taryn, who's an artist in herself and all, Jeremy's Patreon's $3.50 a month. That's it. I mean, my gosh, it's crazy, And I only Patreon 4 people. I Patreon Jeremy, I Patreon Anna Meyer, Carlos Lysing, and Alyssa Fade now, and that's it. So, hey, what's up, Ashur? Good to see you, man. Wonderful, wonderful piece as well. Here's some more of the detail on these that go. These are inserts, correct? That go into those.
Yeah, that'll be. Yeah, these are for the shed. I converted some of the stands.
Look at that.
My first insert wall building was just a little storage shed I did to mess around with it. And then this is just sort of an expansion on the insert wall features for that building.
Yeah,
that came out in May.
It's super cool. And then there's this one as well. I just put that one on. It's a little small. You get smaller shelving and stuff too. I like the book over here too. That's really cool. The open book. It's some really, really.
That's fun stuff to play with.
Yeah, it is definitely fun. I want to share, so Mike, on your end, I'm going to show a picture from Mike real quick here. If I can find the right one. Scarn. This is Mike, this is you doing all the Scarns, huh?
Yes. Yeah. Scarns. You've got all kinds of other stuff there too. You got some Scarns, you have some other D&D minis but yeah, mainly Scarns right there for giveaways.
Yeah.
And some busts. And that big chibi thing over there is Judge Dredd that's laying down on his side. With
cool.
head. Yeah, that's Judge Dredd. And then there's some other ones from Christy Van Patten, the girl with the crossbow down there in the lower
Oh yeah.
lower
Oh
corner.
yeah. Absolutely. And,
Yeah, you painted her on stream.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
And
Yep.
Christy Van Patten does a lot for Reaper.
Yeah,
Correct.
she does. She does for Reaper, and I work for Christy and Kyle, her husband.
Oh, that's really
So
cool.
I do supports for them and just come up, help them out with whatever they need me to do,
And connecting the bridge here, Bill, explain the Scarns. There's Mike's painted Scarn, and then your changed Scarn. So what did you do?
Converted.
Yeah, we shouldn't put mine next to Mike's, but yeah, no, I just Mike had sent me a Scarn, and I figured, well, I just wanted to do one differently, so I just modified. It's a Reaper axe off one of the weapons kits, and just changed the axe, and figured, well, I couldn't do blue, so I did it the belt and stuff. It's hard to see the color there, but it's a mix of purple and burgundy and gold. So.
Yeah, and the good thing is that Bill is always tinkering with. And I'll show a couple here soon of minis. I brought some stuff up. I was in kind of a hurry and could not put all my equipment downstairs today. So another Patreon thing I want to share from Jeremy, and I love this, and I always tell Bill I want this printed immediately. And he's like, "Well, I got this." It's a reality world. I love this piece. I love this. This is so awesome. It's so eclectic and it's like ancient looking. You know what I mean? It's not a modern mill. It's like it's a diverted stream grist mill, basically, right?
Yeah, I saw a little sketch. The inspiration for it was like this little sketch of like this Nordic style mill, they called it. It was just something, it was a lot more basic than this, but I just built it up off of that theme. And instead of like the big water mill, it was just kind of like a lay flat mill that, spins this way as the stream goes through. And I thought that might be a nice little building detail for people to have. I guess I got to make a river for it, so it's something to connect to. But
it's cool. And what's even more cool is the insides are done, everyone. So here, that's the inside. You got the inside, the mills and stones.
So much detail. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's done. And here's another one showing what goes into the inside. So it's not like just it's an empty husk. It's done on the inside as well, which makes it really, really cool.
How much time does it take you to do? Like, how many hours you think roundabout did it take you to do the mill there, Jeremy?
I don't know how to count anymore. I would guess that's probably maybe a 15-hour build for the whole thing, but it's like I'm constantly jumping between different models and stuff, and some models maybe I can draw a lot from an asset catalog I've already built up, and other ones I can't, so it's difficult to gauge what it would be, from scratch. I guess if I had none of the assets, it'd probably take me 40 hours to make that.
Whoa.
But since sometimes I get to recycle things, it takes, less time.
Yeah, because you may have a component from a different place where you can use it and put it in.
Wooden walls, for instance, and stone textures, and I'm sure.
All right, let me go ahead, Jeremy, please.
Oh, I was just going to say I'm going through a lot of growing pains right now with doing, those stands and everything, because almost all the detail stuff I'm having to make my own catalog of things that I can use in the future. So that's been going on for a few months.
Oh,
this is cool too. This is cool. Yeah,
stuff for making the barrels.
Yeah.
What is that?
That turned out real nice. It's a barrel making windlass. It's like I couldn't find an exact picture of it. I saw some modern people doing it the old way, and then I kind of ad-libbed a little bit and sort of made something that would work with 3D printing, but still kind of capture the engineering concept behind them. And what it is the barrel is sitting there, and there's like a fire pit in that barrel warming up the wood, and then they gradually crank these ropes they have around to bend wood in. And that's how they do it. And I sort of made a contraption to capture that.
This is the kind of dressing that you put out and someone sees it just in the game, and it has nothing. All right, so let's be honest, it has nothing to do with the D&D game itself, right? Or it could be at a lumber mill or whatever, but it's there, and there's a fight going around near it, and people are like, what is that? And it just is like, oh my gosh, the level of detail in here is so incredible. That is kind of what our goal is for our table, is to,
It adds to the journey,
Yeah.
right? You're playing D&D and tabletop RPGs for one thing, a journey.
Yeah.
For a break, to escape, really. And this is all adding to that. This is all beautiful things. Exactly. It creates immersion. And that's what we want. That's why we play our tabletop RPGs. And when you look at beautiful terrain like this, and just the little things, like I've never seen anything like this before. This is,
And they're fun to paint up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and they're fun to clean up. It's all around good things, good vibes with this stuff. And it's beautiful. How original is that? I've never seen anything like that.
That's why I was like, I got to show this. I'm gonna have to scour through my Gamescape folder, because I should show your ferry. The ferry is like, I haven't seen that anywhere either yet as well.
Oh.
And Bill's pilfered like the coal pile in the ferry. We used that all over, right, Bill? We took the coal pile from that, and used that on our table just for for cities and things like that. So, thank you.
Now that we have that big new water mat, we can do a nice big ferry crossing setup.
Absolutely. We're getting there with it's everything put together. We're getting there with being able to really increase the things we're showing. Here's another cool one.
Oh yeah, that's an early. It's all built up now. It's like the coffins are all like building scenes, and it's a whole bunch of stuff going on now.
You can never not have enough.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. You can never not have enough. Now, these are let me see what else I got. I got this too from the Patreon. Here's that a whole little.
Yeah, that's the expansion set that I'm coming out. That tower is going to be new this month, and the ruins in the background in the tent. And then I'm adding 2 breach wall areas, and then I'm also adding a straight section. So if people want to make a long pill-shaped village, they can. And one of the patrons had requested that addition.
Yeah,
and it wasn't too much work. So.
And that's a great thing. Jeremy puts out. He'll put out a lot of questionnaires to ask what the priorities are for the Patreons, what they want to see, let's talk about that.
Boy, Jay, I see a druid's compound in the Vespy Forest right there.
Yeah. I agree 100%, Bill. And this is in July, so we're going to get this. So this is. We would need some trees too, but we have trees. So, but that is, and I'm assuming this is
trees.
What's that? Yeah. Oh boy. Here we go. So, look at this, boxes and boxes of new ones. Yes. So you can never.
Sagebrush. I finally found somebody that I can get sagebrush from.
Yeah, and sagebrush is how Bill makes trees from, definitely. So. I want to show everyone something as far as the level of detail on if you get a large print, what Jeremy provides for you. And here is that large tower part of it. And this is how it shows you in stages what you need to print out. So this is kind of very helpful to show with the base in the front and all. And I really was really appreciated these kind of diagrams. And trying to figure
those are the best ones out there. I'll say that.
Yeah. Thank you, Walt.
Absolutely. And those, I love the front of that. It looks like a house.
Thank you, Walt.
And then it's got the tower in the back. I love the front, and I love how high up the how
Yeah.
chunky the top of that tower is. That is so cool looking.
Yeah, it's a cool thing, and that is just one of them. I only threw so many into my folder, but I have the entire Gamescape folder here. But in the meantime, let's talk. While I'm opening up that folder, let's talk about this puppy, shall we? As far as all right, so because I know Jeremy hasn't heard the story, but Mike, tell us a little bit about your legendary Overgorg by Reaper.
Overgorg came into, I don't know if Jeremy knows what Inktober is, but it's an illustrative thing that you do during October where each day of the month you take and you only use ink and you do a drawing that's in, you take your idea for the drawing comes off of a queue that they put out during the month of October. So the third, I was behind. I was 4 days behind. And when I started my stream, I ripped into it and people were giving me cues on what to draw, and we got to day 4 or day 3 actually, and it was a pumpkin beholder. And I don't know if you know what a beholder is, but it's
He does. He's a D&D guy.
Oh, okay. All
yeah,
right.
Jeremy's a D&D guy.
So there it came. It's all from Inktober, really, is how it was born. And I started drawing it up and everybody liked it, and we were getting into it more and more into it, and I was only supposed to be doing a really quick sketch of it, but it turned out to be something way more than a sketch. And I had an idea while I was drawing. I was like, this would be something really horrible to face seasonally, like during an autumn festival or a Halloween game or something every year. For somebody to do something as a one shot on Halloween is a little nice fun thing to do, like a reoccurring character like Jason Voorhees or one of those mass murdering psychopaths from the 80s slasher films that always keep up. They always get up and keep coming after you. That's what I want the Overgorg to be about. So that's how it came in. And I asked the stream while I was streaming if they would want to see this on their D&D table, and everybody was like, yes. So I told them to go over to Reaper and beep their horn about this and make it into a miniature. And by the end of the stream, Reaper had already emailed me and told me that they'll make it into a miniature, and there it is. So that's the
Who did the sculpt, Mike?
That is done by Jason Weeby.
It was Jason Weeby.
Yeah. So
yeah, he's one of the sculptors for
and hence that's where this comes from, and it's the sign print, one of the ones we're giving away tonight. So
and
there's
very the
cool.
Overgorg himself right there.
Yeah, that is so awesome.
In the 2D version, but yeah, that's how he was born.
So note this, Mike. Halloween's not far away.
Overgorg.
Yeah, the Overgorg. It's the same one I got. I got the. Mike says I got one of the. I got the only small one. I got the only small print custom. Yeah, so
You've got the only small.
That's
small
awesome,
one,
man.
right?
So I found a couple others as I'm pulling stuff out here, and here is this that we need to get. I need to get this printed. Here we go. There it is. There's the ferry. That is so freaking cool. I mean,
that won't be too bad. We just didn't have the right terrain for having a big ferry. Now we got the water.
All right, so Jeremy, 2 questions for both you and Mike. Question number 1. Leg Kim asks, if you're going to start with miniatures, what would you recommend printer wise? An Elgu Mars for minis.
Me? Oh yeah, for minis. Yeah, I would stick with it. I got in when they first came out, and everyone was using the Anycubics, and they seemed fine with that company, and was new at the time. It just seemed like that's something going on, so I took a chance on it and haven't regretted it. It worked right out of the box, no issues at all.
You too, Mike? Stick with your Elgu Mars?
Yeah, like Jeremy's saying, I've had no issues. Why mess with something that ain't broken? You know what I mean? I've never had no issues with them. I've never had to change out screens, anything like that. So
very, very cool. Very, very cool. Question number 2. Would you do this resin or PLA? The ferry, Jeremy.
Oh, that's PLA.
PLA.
Yeah. PLA,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's I don't know. And that was a simple, it's a fairly simple model too. I mean, and then the holes you can put filament through there if you don't have rope. Also, I designed them just big enough to loop 1.75 millimeters through there.
Oh, okay.
Just reading that. Was just reading that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very cool.
Wait, I just watched the Outlaw Josie Wales today.
Yeah, I know. That's what I
Yeah.
was thinking. Yeah, 10 years been ferrying Union Cavalry, Missouri Guerrillas. Yeah, the whole thing. Yeah. Oh my
We
God.
must be sharing a Netflix subscription because I just watched that too last week.
All right.
You do
All right.
get a little bit of a break in there. That's good.
What's the name of the ferry guy?
Oh, I already forgot. I'd have to go
I don't
back and
remember
watch
him, but
Sim Carstairs, right?
Yeah.
And then Lemuel is the
Lemuel, yeah.
What a great one. So Amy Crittenden asks, I heard PLA is better for terrain. Is that true? Larger terrain, Amy, not detailed stuff, but larger. Is probably the answer. Mike, you and Jeremy both agree on that. The larger it is, the more you want to go.
Yeah, I definitely. I don't have a PLA printer, but I know, like I said, resin printers can't really, unless you have the newer printers that have the huge print. I still wouldn't do it with resin. I would do it with PLA.
Resin's still expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just to add on to that, like before I got into PLA, I did a lot of stuff with ABS for the advantages of being able to melt it with acetone, and I messed around a lot with the dissolvable filaments, and I would never go back to ABS. It's just not worth the benefits compared to the ease of using PLA. And also you have a lot less warping with PLA, so there's a lot of different materials out there, but I think in terms of frustration thresholds, PLA is the way to go. And then another trick, if you ever have clogging with PLA, you can put a little corn oil on the PLA to help keep it going too. Like right when it goes to the machine, it have problems with clogging. But it seems like more and more nowadays, those kinds of issues are less and less. I hardly ever have clogs unless things just wear out.
Yeah, we had that issue with our Under 5. We had a clogging issue, and it was probably the teeth inside, right? The teeth wore out, Bill?
Well, it was partially the extruder, and I ended up having to take apart the hot end and clean it just because, I mean, we were running it more than really it's supposed to be run. So I was getting a buildup of material inside too. So once I clean that out, it's much better.
Very, very cool. So what does this all lead to for us? And I'm going to show, here is a full table setup. Just recently done. Notice on the table, we have the following. We have Dwarven Forge. We have Miniature Building Authority. We have Bill's Custom Crafts, that big mound. We have that Scree Hill. I forget the name of that company. They went out of business. They stopped selling 15 years ago. That's a nice piece. We have a Thingiverse windmill that Bill has it spin. We have an Infinite Dimensions tower. We have Jeremy's Roads from Gamescape there. And we have underlays from the Russian company Warzone Studios.
And the Jeremy's Watchtower is also in the back.
Yeah, you see it.
Right.
Yeah, Jeremy's Watchtower is in the back there too, because that's part of out downtown Altamira. Yeah, so we got, we have on here a lot of different companies and you can see Bill also did the Reaper fountain, which I have. Let me show that to everyone. It's right in the front there. So the point I'm trying to make is it's a combination of all these great companies coming together. And this Bill was mentioned on the Reaper show and on the Reaper site for that, doing that. That shows it really well. So why don't you explain, Bill, on this Reaper print, how you did that?
Yeah, that's really cool, Bill.
With that, it's just it's UV resin is all I used. I put down mixed UV resin with a little bit of green wash in it. Did the base in there, then used fishing line to create the stream. Just put dots of UV resin, cured it so it was placed. Then I took apart a Q-tip, mixed it with UV resin, pulled it apart so it created the splash, and just kept pulling it until it looked right, and then hit it with the curing light and froze it in place. So that adds the splash effect.
So a couple other quickie Bill crafts that are brand new. These are Reapers. Stuff I could pull my hand up. This is and I want you all to look at the adornments that Bill has placed within this piece of just, none of that was there when it started. And so what do you got going on in there, Bill? Some of the tricks.
Well, the dirt is all mixed tile grouts, and it's just a lot. There's rival craft stuff in there. There's railroad or woodland scenic stuff, flowers. All the bright colors are all rival. And there's some foreground stuff in there. It's whatever I can buy. Buying terrain stuff's not cheap. We all know that when you're putting grasses and clumps together. So whatever I can get cheap on eBay is what I buy.
So take a look at this one. This one's got a lot more rival craft in it too. So, whoops, something just popped out. I'm sorry. I'll put it. There you go. Look at the rival craft.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the big purple balls are actually flowers from the dollar store.
Are they really?
It's the little styrofoam balls from an Easter flower. Just pulled sections off because I've used them as grapes. I've used them as flowers.
Yeah.
So when you combine, like for example, Jeremy's great crafts with an overgorg from Mike or a Scarn from Mike, and then Bill gets a hold of it, that is what ends up on. That's what ends up on my table.
If we could get Jeremy to do the witch's hut where the overgorg was born, that'd be great.
I think all you have to do is ask, Mike. I think all you have to do is ask him. Jeremy will put.
He might know a guy.
Yeah, he might know a guy who may want to do that for you for October's Patreon or something. Come, you know what I mean? So let's talk about that. So here we go. This is. I love this pic, by the way. I want to show that pic that's up here too.
That's a couple Jeremy pieces right there.
I want to share this because Jeremy, you put in stuff that is like people don't know about unless they look into in depth into what you've attached, and that is this toll road, this toll booth. I mean, yeah. Why don't you? And it's in the lower corner here. Whoops. Jay needs to press the button.
Changed.
There we go. Okay. All right. So you got your guard post that we call it the Town Watch building, which we love. Your road shown here and the toll booth. So the toll booth is part of the Upperlands roads or the Lowlands.
It was part of the Upperlands roads, but I mean those roads are bare enough that you can plug them into the, a couple of the other ones without too many issues.
And there's wall sets that go. It's the small timber fort walls can be used with that one, right?
Yeah. And that's something I released, I think maybe a year ago, maybe April last April.
What's up, Alvarez? Good to see you, man. So just note that when we got the road Kickstarter, and I started going through them, like, Bill, there's not just roads in here. There's all these other accessories. You got you have a landslide in one, right? You always added like a little special thing in each road set. And this one had the toll road. I'm like, my gosh, we've been looking for this toll road for ages because it exists in D&D, right? There's these kind of things that exist in Greyhawk, and now we have one. It makes total sense. So I remember, Mike, you played in one game where I had this up, remember? Yeah. And Anna's like, oh, just bribe the guy. Remember that adventure? We're playing, and Anna's like everyone's trying to figure out how to get in, and Anna goes, just bribe the guy. It was at the toll booth. So it's a really cool add-on, and it fits figures up top too, which is really nice too.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah, I really like the new one too that I printed, I don't know, a couple months ago. The Goblin Tower, the small Goblin Tower. I don't know if you have a picture of that one in there.
I will find one. I will find one of that. So
we use that all over the place now.
Yeah, I'd love to see that. Goblin terrain, any kind of goblinoid terrain is always very interesting and fun to paint.
I I just used it in the adventure, so it'd be in 915. I just used it with the anti-paladin, the Saturday Night Special. I should have a pic of it.
I got a few of them here if you want me to grab one.
Awesome. There it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
Oh,
Yep.
Yeah, there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a cool piece. It adds so much to a table.
Here we go. There's another angle. Yeah. So what we can talk about right here is if you look at this picture here, that mound is one of our oldest pieces that we got from that company that did the Scree Hill as well, and I forget the name of them. And he doesn't do work. This is pre 3D print days. What is this? 20 years ago, Bill, roughly. That's about
That stuff. Oh yeah, it's
about
probably
20
at
years
least 15.
along with Bill Crafted Trees.
Look at the nooses hanging from the one
Yeah,
tree.
but that's Bill. You like that, man?
That's fantastic.
It's awesome. It's awesome stuff.
Fantastic.
Along with Jeremy's great Goblin Hut with the same Reaper Bones Ogre done 5 different ways by Bill. There's 5 different sculpts of that, along with some 3D print campsite stuff Bill got off of Thingiverse, I'm assuming, Bill, correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then along with an Infinite Dimensions building up top. And look at that, and tie that all together in a great scene. It's just a wonderful, wonderful thing, and just note that that's what we're excited about, the endless opportunities for some cool things. So Jeremy, we got a hype train tonight. So can I do a 4th giveaway for a ferry? Is that okay?
oh, yeah. You
All
got
right.
the files for that?
Oh yeah, sure,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I can
Oh,
drop box it to the winner. All right, so we're doing a 4th giveaway now. We're doing 2 from Gamescape. We're going to do the ferry that we showed. All right, so Jeremy, what do you do for a living, and what job led you into doing this? Is a question from the audience.
Well, I was an art technician for a number of years, which is basically I ran a wood shop for about 15 years. And then outside of that, I was basically sort of the art school janitor and would do some teaching also. I guess that's how I describe that job. And I felt like it wasn't very secure, so I got into the 3D printing and just basically taught myself 3D modeling. And then eventually made a couple of job moves and finally partly with the help of, this little company I've started, made myself attractive to someone to run a makerspace. And I got the opportunity to basically build a makerspace from scratch, a 3,000-foot facility. I got to do the whole design in there.
Wow.
And then I think I just lost track of what I was asking the question. Is that right?
Yeah, like that's what led you into it. And do you have
And
another
then-
real life career outside of? Are you doing something else beside?
Yeah, I run the makerspace I designed for Free State University. So it's really been a bunch of work for about 7 years, just sort of like 70-hour work weeks, and then everything kind of came together all at once. And the Gamescape thing is going so well. I don't even know if I'll be able to keep this other job 3 or 4 years from now. So I'm just sort of letting the river take where it wants to go, and I'll see what happens at this point.
It's very exciting and very, very cool.
Yeah, it is. That is exciting. Congratulations on all that. That's
So Jeremy, I know you were doing a project with another company. Did that fall through? I know like Mike is partnered with a couple other companies. I know you were doing one for a game company. I thought you said.
Oh yeah, I stepped out of that. I just felt like it was. They wanted to use some of my buildings. I won't get into it too much, but they wanted to use some of my bigger buildings. And I just wasn't interested in revisiting them, like the tower and like the ruins you guys are working on. And I mean, that stuff is cool. They're designs that sold 1,000 times, but they were printed, less than 50 times. So it's like,
oh yeah,
a lot of ways, I think maybe I'm not bigger because, I did those ambitious designs that didn't really have
We haven't even shown those yet.
Yeah.
Talk about
Yeah,
ambitious.
I
Yeah.
think it just kind of blunted my progress to a certain extent, because even though they're impressive visually, in the real world of marketing and capitalism, it's they don't necessarily translate so well.
So Mike,
So,
do you think you would be able? You could sketch up that witch's hut, right? Sketch it up and
Oh, no problem.
do it on. If you're streaming again, do it on a stream. Sketch it up, and then we'll connect with Jeremy and see if he's interested in doing that for like getting the
I can
witch's
do
hut
a
for the overgorg. Yeah,
yeah.
that'd be.
I haven't done any witches' huts, so I don't know if you want it in a tree or where you want it.
Oh, that's exactly because well, she's on a pumpkin patch. That's what the overgorg came out of. She had her head decapitated because she stole a child. So the townspeople decapitated her, and the blood from her in her final words were a curse that turned her. What she was decapitated over was the biggest pumpkin in the patch, which just happened to turn in to the overgorg when her blood ran through. So, and the hut would be around a bunch of pumpkins for sure. So it could be in a tree, it could be just a really rickety old shack, it could be a mound where pumpkins are growing over it. There's just kind of like a hobbit hole, you know what I mean? But not really.
Yeah.
Is this story kind of related to Pumpkinhead in some ways, or
No, not at all. Not at all.
I was just
No,
wondering.
not at all. A lot of people love it though. They connect it with a real horror story. So,
Okay.
but yeah,
We're waiting patiently. They're coming soon.
We're waiting for it patiently. So this picture here has Jeremy's ruins in the background with an Infinite Dimensions tower and some other nice like funerary stuff they have. So this was an adventure I did multiple times with the All-Star group and with my regular group, and I wanted to lead that into this, which is these ruins that Jeremy has. You can see here's some of the ruins from this angle. There's a ruin post, and there's one in the distance, a couple buildings in the distance for here, and we combined it in with some other things we have going on. There's the road, there's the long road, King's Road coming into this, ruins of the Gradivus estate, which makes Bill smile here. So and note there's some. You can tell how old these paints are. Look at that fire elemental, Bill. How old's that?
Oh, I don't even like to see that.
That thing is like 30 years old. That print. And then we got another angle here. This should be a better angle of.
Chris, again, I don't like the stuff I painted a year ago. So.
So there's some more of Jeremy's ruins there, which we love those too. I mean, they are great. They're great design to add in a little. And when was this, Jeremy? June Patreon of last year? June, July, somewhere around then?
That sounds right.
Yeah. So, and your back Patreons are available, correct? They can. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and I'm getting loaded up on My Mini Factory now, also.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I just one thing I wanted to mention. I'm real glad you guys are working with Infinite Dimensions. I think about those guys a lot, and I think the great thing about them that I always think about is how they don't care about what anyone else is doing. Like they really just
absolutely
sort of focus on their own vision. And every time I get a little off track, thinking a little too commercial, I always think about those guys, and I use them to kind of reset myself.
Well, the great thing is that both of your companies don't mind that we love both of you, and it really enhances our table having both companies, and they're both small companies. You're a one-man show, they're a two-man show, and we are super excited, as everyone is, for this.
And I'm a one-man crafter. I can't do anymore.
You are. So
well,
this.
Our stuff's a pretty good match.
Yeah. So
good.
Absolutely, this is their arena from the new Kickstarter. We have it in print completely, and that is that will be for Virtual Greyhawk Con, the Grand Melee. So Bill just needs to do his magic on. by the first week in October.
I have to finish this one first.
Yes, and we're gonna show that one in a second. So yeah, so that's Infinite Dimensions. It does some great stuff, and we love having both of you. And James is a really good guy from that company, but I love the above views here from this. So Mike, I want you to give me a memory here. All right, now I'm going to show something, the concept drawing first from Jeremy, and then what it ended up with Bill. Everyone, there we go. All right, Jeremy, why don't you describe how this happened?
Well, you said you wanted it.
That was so awesome. Oh, yes. So,
and then I thought, well, maybe they'd want some walls around the outside.
Oh,
so
yeah.
then I made those. And then I did some pennants too, but you guys didn't have a resin printer yet, so I don't think you took a run at those. But the pennants are actually an add-on you can glue on later. And then the shields also glue into the wall, so you can paint them individually before they go on the wall. And then the rest of it is right in front of you there.
Yeah, and this is what we all got. There we go.
Yeah.
So this is what we. So Bill, why don't you describe what you've done here with Jeremy's setup?
Well, I mounted everything to MDF board, and for storage, I split it into two. And I mean, it's a great project. I didn't use the pennants. The pennants are great, but my 3D printing skill wouldn't, without having a resin printer, wasn't going to do it. So I just decided to drill some holes and add the banners. Like I said, it's MDF board with grout. I actually took one of my daughter's old toy horses when the grout was drying and went through to make it look like the horses were running in the material. Grandstands in the background are just insulation foam and toothpicks or popsicle sticks, and the house here is actually from Black Scroll Games, another company. I made the
because that was
VIP section out of.
That was a mill, right? And you just didn't put anything on the inside. It was a perfect fit for having an outdoor canopy.
Yeah, it's multi-purpose. It can either be a lumber mill or a wash house.
Yeah. So, and then we got some stuff from Pathfinder, right? The table and all that stuff is Pathfinder minis, correct?
That is Pathfinder, yes.
Yeah, yep. That's Pathfinder. Mm-hmm. And then we got some paint jobs. And these are figures. Some of these figures go back 40 years. Like you can see Charisse here, right here. This is Lord Mayor Charisse, right? That figure is a Prince August. That figure's from like 1983 or 82.
Yeah, it could be, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And there's Andre Winchester.
What is that, Ralph Partha or Grenadier?
No, it's a Prince August. Which is a UK company, going way back in the day. And here's Garn.
there might be a Mithril miniature on there as well.
Yeah, there's a
lot
of.
We had some Mithril stuff on there at a time. There was some Lord of the Rings miniatures.
This one here's a Ratham. That's our actual
Ratham.
Ratham? Yeah. This is a Elmore series from what do you call it?
Dark Sword.
Yeah, that's the Dark Sword Elmore series. And Bill added the shield to it. But no, those are our characters in the campaign. But look, you got an entire story here now for the joust. And everyone, and Bill painted 17 mounted miniatures for this too. So, yeah. Where's Carlos?
It was a long project.
Yeah. It is. Where's Anna? Anna's got off tonight, cold. Anna's like, I don't need to be on for this one. So, Anna Meyer's on all the time and is probably enjoying a night off, and it's okay. And Carlos is working. I know that. So this was, I think, overall our best scene to date. Mike, what are your thoughts?
I am Lord Vargas. And I have come to win.
Yeah. So, actually, it was Sir Vargrin the Unmerciful, wasn't it?
Yeah.
All right, here, let me pop him up. So I'll throw him up. So we had Jeremy, we had a winner of a joust, and then this guy who was a previous winner showed up, and here he is. Showed up, and Mike played him, and he wanted to defend his title, and he kicked the crap out of the winner. If we all remember what happened there. So Vargan the Unmerciful.
Vargan.
Yeah.
I said Vargas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Lord Page symbol and everything. So we turned a nice story into it. But without Jeremy, without your setup, we could have never done this.
They hated me. They hated me. As soon as I came on and my character came into the thing, I got booed out of chat. It was terrible, Jeremy.
But it was
Mike
fun.
was loved, but was hated that night.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think Bill gets most of the credit for that one. It wasn't a super complex build. You know, it was, you know, what he did with it is what I think, you know,
Jeremy,
makes that
I'm gonna
so well.
I'm gonna say one thing though.
Uh-huh.
We were searching for how long, Bill? A year for something, at least.
Oh yeah.
For a tilt wall, we're searching for. My friend Brian took just a wall and converted it and double sided it, but it didn't really work. And he did that over a year ago. And there was no tilt wall out there until you made it, and that's the wonderful thing. And that was available on the Patreon too, everyone. So just note it's a really cool thing.
You know, and honestly, it looks like a setup from a museum or something like that. The way you have it painted, Bill, and the way it's done, and it just the 3D sculpting on it. Even though it's a basic build, it really is. It's effective. Look how good it looks. It's just. It does. It looks like a little museum piece that you would get some education from.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, no problem.
And it's easy portable. You can see it's split down the middle, so it's 2 pieces, and we have it. And our issue is now storage on this stuff. So, yeah, exactly, Gaetano. It's a great diorama for everyone, and that's what we're trying to do. So we're trying to create this immersive experience. So, Jeremy, I know you said about an hour. If you got to depart, just let me know. We'll finish.
Yeah,
up.
I'll wait till I get called away.
All right, that's cool.
There you go. That's what we like.
Yes,
to hear.
I love to hear
It
that.
seems like a fun place.
He's having a good time.
Yeah, it's
21 people watching you right now.
Yeah, we got this. So here is the granddaddy of them all. Thanks to Gamescape 3D, and we did give this away once. And this is all right, Jeremy. What are your thoughts on these ruins? You wanted to go big on this, obviously.
Well, it was just it was a secondary build off of my Citadel Kickstarter. I just took the parts from that, and then I used various parts that I made from the stretch goals, and basically did this design with it just for fun. I mean, I could design a bunch more out of those parts, but you know, who wants to print all that? Not very many people. Just you guys and like 2 or 3 other people.
I will say this. We and I think he Patreons you. Mike Saxton, Retro Gamer Meth, said. I said to him, Mike, you have 7 printers or however many you have. It'll take Bill 3 months to print this on one printer because we only had the 105 at the time, and he did this gratis for us. And it took him 2 weeks. With
4 printers, 28 days.
4 printers, 28 days straight.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's serious printing right there.
So thank you, Mike Saxton. And then Mike sent it. But I just wanted to show these because this is 2 floors. This is the first floor. And you can see Bill's grouting this up.
That's the top floor. Yeah.
That's the top. Is that the top? No, I thought this was the top.
That's the top floor.
That's the top too. So Bill's doing the grout up. Well, this is going to be, everyone, Strandkeep Castle from the Gord books. If you read the Gord books in the Pomarsh, we're going to have a big scenario there with this. And I'll use it for other things too. But here is Bill's job to date, who he just sent me these pics. We're getting there. All right. As you can see. All right, Bill, what have you done so far?
Well, that's both floors were grouted, sealed. After they were grouted, they did a couple different series of washes. Then it was dry brushed with mid gray. Then it was dry brushed with a light gray. Then it was dry brushed with a white. Then I went over in spots and did some more additional washes. And now it's just waiting for. After that, I did some more pigment, and it's got to be grassed up, and still a long way to go yet. But
how long does the grout take on something like that?
Yeah.
I would say it took me probably combined both levels, probably about 3 hours.
Amy Critton
Oh,
asked.
that quickly.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, well, it's pretty simple
But
to apply it.
can you talk about what you do to speed paint with grout?
Yeah, I mean, just to apply it, I just you turn it on its side. I fill it with grout, and then using a big brush, brush it off so you get it level. Then I spray it with a mix of 50-50 mix of water and isopropyl alcohol. Activates the grout. Let it dry. Then after it's dry, everything is tan. So then I take it outside, go over it with a paintbrush, blow it off with air. Then I'll wipe it down with a wet rag to take the dust off again, and then let it sit. Once it's dried again, I'll go back over, and then I'll start doing my washes.
That's dedication.
So, but I mean, to do the washes on this thing
There it is.
today was washes and dry brushing was probably 9 hours.
Oh my God.
Whoa.
He's doing other things though.
Yeah.
He's
Not
doing
today, I didn't.
I was down the beach and Bill was doing this, but
Yeah, well, I'm not allowed to leave the house. Jay has me working.
come on, man. So,
Wait till he gets the bill.
Amy asked, "What are you using for your grouting specifically?"
I use unsanded grout from either Maypee or custom building product stuff from Lowe's or Home Depot, and then just pick your color. You know, because I'll buy a series of mochas, tans, ivory whites, and grays, and then depending on what I'm doing, I'll mix them. This one was a mix of bone and a dark tan.
That looks so good, Bill. It looks really incredible.
It is. So that's why I call Bill the Master Crafter, because he's not just painting this. He's taking the time and adorning this properly, and he's going to have like overgrowth on it, and he's putting some of the gargoyles on it. it's a work of art. And
yeah, I might be divorced next week, so it's hard to say.
He's kidding. We all put time into what we love. Mike, you put time into your artwork and painting. Jeremy puts time into his sculpts and setting up STLs. Bill does his, and I do my game table setup, DMing, running a campaign, and running my Twitch channel. Which is 20 to 30 hours. Yeah, it's passion.
It's passion and a love for the game and for the art and what you're doing, and just that's exactly what it is, passion. Like Jeremy said earlier, he does get those butterflies in his stomach when he sees his terrain painted up like this, and that's the reason. That's one of the main reasons. It's got to be why any of us do any of this.
So Jeremy,
the end game.
You said that this was rarely printed out, and I think you were saying that this is too big. Really? Is that what you're saying? Is that
people want things to be in whole parts. So if I was going to design this today, I would probably design things in much bigger chunks so people could just slap it together, as opposed to using the open lot concept where every wall and corner pillar needs to be snapped into place.
I'll say I put it together wrong. So I had to modify pieces to make stuff fit right, because I moved something around that's in the wrong corner. And then once it was glued in place, that was it. I wasn't changing it.
Yeah.
So it's it's a lot of pieces. It's a couple hundred pieces.
Yeah, but it is.
Good. Oh, it's I just designed it 2 years ago, but with the way things move so fast, it feels like a decade ago.
Yeah, absolutely. So this was before the 2x2. This was before the 2x2 tower. This is afterwards?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It was about 9 months earlier.
Okay.
So that's about 4 years in 3D modeling time.
Let's let's show some other fun. All right, here's some of the other really great stuff out there that that Jeremy's done that we've given away. I know Amy's won some of these, and Lexfire. The Elven Hut. What a cool piece.
Oh, that is beautiful. That is
Oh,
beautiful.
that's not the Elven. Is that the Elven hut? That's the treetop fort, right? That's not the Elven hut. Yeah, that's the
Well,
treetop
it's
fort.
like an elven house. It
Yeah,
can be, I wasn't racially specific with it.
yeah. It's cool. And it's got a lot of different angles on it, as you can see, and it opens up, and it's a neat one.
That is super
Another
cool.
another great thing out there. It just is a wonderful. This is one of the most popular monthly giveaways when we do a Gamescape 3D giveaway that people want is the treetop fort. Definitely one of the best ones. We have not printed this out yet because
Yeah.
You
we're
should.
well, yeah, we should, Mike, but we're trying to. I would use it, but we are just we're trying to print stuff that I know with what I got going on in the campaign, and we're stacked out so far. We're trying to get out stuff onto the table that we know we're going to use right off the bat, and multiple. The roads were so important because we knew we were going to use them over and over and over.
And I really need to print more roads.
Yeah, we need more.
We don't have enough.
Yeah, we don't have enough, which is crazy. Here's another. This one is really cool too. This is the Goblin main camp, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's oh wow.
Yeah, that is cool too. That's another.
Is that tiered too? Is that a tiered
Yeah, that's
building?
two layers. You got one layer below and then another layer at the base. And you could, just use the top part. It's not like you have to use all three layers. You can
Right.
use two layers or one layer. And there's some optional stairs because I didn't really think adventurers should have a way to get up there, but some other people felt differently. So there's some stairs you can use with it.
Yeah.
And then there's a couple other goblin buildings that go with that are pretty large also.
Let me see.
We won't talk about those other people, right, Jeremy?
So I have to. I got to show this. I found it finally. So I was like, oh yeah, I know McGlue printed this. He's the one that printed it. There's the castle
Oh, yeah.
ruins. There's the castle ruins design, the original one. There it is. That's the original computer generated version of it.
So cool.
Yeah, is that and that with showing the lock system. So yeah.
Jeremy, can you talk about what you're working on now? Is that
Go for it.
possible or?
No, it's fine. I don't have any NDAs or anything. Right now, next month, I'm going to go back to doing larger things, and I'm doing kind of this generic evil pyramid temple that is kind of a cross of probably 4 or 5 cultures. So you'll be able to put it in the desert or the jungle, or you can put it at the North Pole, and it'll sort of fit into all those different places. And then I have a Kickstarter that I have half designed, and the main feature I'm doing for that is a river that integrates 1-inch styrofoam. So the river is actually down underneath the surface of the terrain about 9 inches if you want it to be. So you can have like actual banks, and the part that's 3D printed is like the banks going down into the river. And then also on the river, I'm doing a version where it's a dry bed, all filled with rocks, if you want your party like marching down a dry bed river. And then I'm also doing a conversion for one of the banks where it turns into a beachfront attack. So the one bank turns into a beach down at the bottom, and then up at the top, I have a palisade sort of fortification going the whole length if you wanted to do a beach invasion.
I like this stuff. That sounds cool, B. I'm going to put the stuff down into the foam.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it comes with little boosters, so like you could have, like if you wanted a cave or something in the riverbed, it could be under the surface of the styrofoam, and you could lift it up, and a whole, you could use open lock dungeons or whatever kind of dungeons you want under there, since it's all like 1-inch increments.
This one we gave away one time, and this is the Elven Fort.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is this one of your originals?
Yeah, I designed that in 3 minutes.
How much?
Crazy. 3 minutes.
Yeah, I knew exactly what it was going to look like. And I have expansions for that, so there can actually be houses where the towers are. And about a year ago, I have it.
Yeah, go ahead. Show us. That's crazy, isn't it?
Really glad he came on tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
I designed a gate for it.
Oh, nice. Yeah, please show us.
So that's part of that too. I did that about 2 years later because originally there's just
Cool.
like a secret little door in the one corner there that's facing us. Like that root system lifts up and reveals a door.
Now this is, here's an above view. There you go.
And it comes with towers and buildings too. I made with it, but they were a little eccentric, you know, a little out of the ordinary. I kind of did a honeycomb thing.
Yeah, they were kind of Warhammerish, right? Citadel look, Warhammerish look, kind of a little bit, which is cool.
Yeah, they were kind of.
Oh, there you go.
Know,
Oh, yeah.
There'd be like tree parts and stuff.
Oh, I see.
Honeycomb idea for like elves. Maybe it would have been more appropriate for goblins or something.
That's okay.
How many pieces?
How many pieces?
How many pieces have you shelved? Like, how many projects have you started working on and been like, yep, this isn't going anywhere? But you've printed it, like you almost finished it, but you've shelved it. You've just said, no, I can't do
nothing
that.
gets shelved. I have tons of ideas that are half designed, and I just see another shiny object and circle around to it later on.
Growling cats, huh?
Yeah.
It is. It
sounds like my painting table.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's like that with anyone who's creative, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'll go in a direction on a D&D adventure I'm writing. I'm like, this sucks, but I shelve it, right? And then maybe something will come up later. And Bill's all over the place working on things, right? All the time. He's working, you know, and trying to. Bill got mentioned twice. I'm going to go back to another screen real quick here. Bill got mentioned 2 successive weeks for these.
3 weeks in a row.
3 weeks in a row, and here they are. I'm going to show them. Here are the two. The brand new bones that Reaper's doing, and you can notice the subtle changes in them that Bill did with the weaponry, right?
Yep.
You know, and so these both got on the Reaper show, correct?
Yeah, they got it made it to Reaper Land. It was kind of cool.
Yeah, the Friday night show where they show off everything in it, and I got one other little. Oh, I haven't shown this yet. Here's one of Bill's last paint jobs. There you go.
Oh yeah.
Now this was what's the name of this puppy from Reaper, Bill?
It's like Rathalonus or something like that. It was, I think that came out with ReaperCon last year.
Yeah.
Because it was a metal, and they came out with the bones one last year.
Yep.
Can you imagine that in metal? Whoa, wow, that'd be so heavy.
It's huge. It's heavy. It's heavy in bones material.
Yeah.
This is an awesome demon for our old school game. And I know exactly where I'm going to use it for a plot line, a long-term plot line.
I'll tell you, the skin tones on there are because of Mike's Patreon. It's taught me a lot about layering now.
Okay.
So it's and working with the Reaper Triads.
Thank you.
Yeah, and the Reaper paint is really good. So Jeremy, do you paint at all, or are you printing out?
Sure. When I get a chance, I use crappy craft paints on terrain, and then I use I think it's the Reaper paint on miniatures.
Okay.
I get a chance to do that.
Reaper,
I usually mix my own
paint on terrain.
It's fine. Craft paint on terrain because it's so much. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing at all wrong with that. So let me go back to the main screen.
Make your own washes and craft paint.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you know, there's a cost associated with everything, and there's a time associated with everything, and when you need to everyone has to maximize their time. All right. So besides these and these great 3D prints, let's give Bill a shout out on a from scratch piece that he just finished. That Mike is going to. Bill's not going to be around Thursday. He's got something to do with his son. But Mike's playing Thursday night.
Yep, summer hockey season started again.
Yeah, and look at this is all hand. All right, so explain what this is. Yeah.
It started with insulation foam and and went away up there. The front gate is actually from a railroad set.
We go to the front.
The rocks are
you don't have the
scenics.
You don't have the front on any of them. Okay. Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
Let me go this one.
Yeah, it's all woodland scenics rocks made out of plaster of Paris, and I didn't send you the front.
No, you only sent me 3 pics. But that's just
okay. I thought there was more than that.
But look who's up top there,
Up
Mike.
top,
Look
Yeah,
what's
I
up
see
top.
that. I see that.
It's a
Scarn.
Scarn, yeah. So
or is it Scarn or is it someone else?
Yeah, exactly, Mike, exactly. Because you saw. So here, and Taryn's playing too. Everyone for the first time in my game.
Yeah.
Welcome, Taryn. So
There's
that is the wrong shout out. I did hit a wrong button finally. There we go. They're both wrong. Wait a minute. Yep. I must have not programmed it in. So.
But those are my first trees using sagebrush and seafoam. So that was something new for me trying out.
So as far as 3D print goes, you have the tent and you have the barrels.
The tent, the barrels, the end of the fence is actually when I shortened the blades on the windmill. That's part of the blades off the windmill.
Okay.
The Scarn is 3D printed. That Mike had printed.
Yeah.
And that's really it for 3D prints on there. Everything else is plaster or homemade sculptamold.
But the great thing is, look at the detail on the back of the rocks. The rocks look real, and that's what I like about it, how realistic that rock formation looks, and that's pretty impressive. So, did you find out what you submitted this for a contest, and which contest was that?
Real Terrain Hobbies.
Real Terrain Hobbies. There you go.
And if anybody who's a crafter and hasn't checked that guy out, he makes some incredible stuff. He has
yeah, he does.
He really incredible. It's worth checking out.
So another great Bill craft here, which lights up and you've seen multiple times. Bill, why don't you describe this great piece that we have on our table now? On a lot for every great inn we have.
Yeah, well, that was what it was. It was actually inspired by when I started watching Real Terrain Hobbies. Yeah, I did. It's a raised. The walls are all das clay with hand rolled rocks. It's I think that's Infinite Dimensions building, but it's all hand done. Yeah, it was a fun project. That was a long project.
Plus all wired up.
And it's all wired up. Yep, all the lights are flicker lights. So yeah, first, second floor flickers, and all the street lights.
This debuted at GreyHawkCon last year, when Luke Gygax played in my game, which was an honor to have.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, and that's a pretty nice one there from Bill. So
having the son of the main man that started it all.
Yeah, absolutely.
That just.
Absolutely. I'm trying to see what I haven't. I got
what a cool guy too.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful stuff. I'm trying to. All right, so we got a couple. So Jeremy, what I missed? That's really cool that you got that I missed. I just got to be some. You want to show something in your end?
I did this bunk bed. I don't know. I think you got it all.
I tried to go through most of the. Let me. So we've really. You know what I really liked was, and I gotta find them. Here, okay, that's
the Scottish.
There's the ruins. There's the ruins all together that when Bill printed them before they were adorned up. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, those have been painted up pretty nicely by quite a few people.
Yeah, that's a great size. I think that is a good size to stay at as far as what is this NOV? Okay, there's the little goblin fort. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a great one too. Also with that, you have a goblin watch post. Let me see if I could find the right one for. Oh, it's the same one. Same one. There's a goblin. Yeah, there's another. There's goblin. So this is the road. This is the ruined road system. This is cool too. This was in I think November's Patreon. That is an awesome. I love the idea of having the ruins on both sides of the road. We have not printed these yet. I haven't seen anyone print these yet.
No, I guess it was a little bit of an oversight on my part. I guess those roads are like 24-hour prints, so that's going to scare off a lot of people with the buildings. Maybe
with multiple printers, it's not that bad. But yeah.
No, it's not bad for me, but it's bad for someone who owns 1 or 2 printers.
Yeah, true. So we try and let me see if I got what we got here. These are pretty cool. They're circular walls, right? They're
Yeah.
all different angled walls. They're nice too. That's
I'll
nice.
tell you, one of the nicer pieces that I haven't printed yet that I like is the large peasant shack, the new one. I really like that one. You might have pictures of that.
Oh, well, Jeremy may have it right here too.
And the new Hobbit, the Hobbit house, the Hobbit hole. That's they got the it's built into the tree.
Yeah.
Just
I was
in
just
case-
We'll
looking
let
trying to
Jeremy
find
show
it.
these. Yeah, it's let me
Yeah.
searching for them in there. So there we
just
go.
in case you guys were interested in
That
all.
is
that.
cool. That is awesome.
Yeah,
That
really
is
cool.
that is so Middle Ages. That is perfect. Yeah.
The roof comes out, and you got a little second story up there,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
it breaks down, and you get to
Yeah. That is awesome. That is awesome.
I could see a hag coming out of there, Mike.
Yeah, I was just gonna say too. I've
It'd
got
be like a big mansion.
Jeremy. Jeremy was wondering about the lore because he said the overgorg sounded something like the Pumpkinhead, and I looked on my computer and I found the story that my friend wrote about the overgorg. I have the lore here. If you guys later on want to hear it before you take off, Jeremy,
Yeah, cool.
I have the story that she wrote for him.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a lot coming out there for please we'd love to take your audience questions now, whether it's technical, whether it's something you've seen on our table, whether it's a question for Mike about the overgorg, please. So it doesn't. So if you're a layman on 3D printers and you missed early on, I think Jeremy said one more time. Jeremy, what was the PLA that you recommended one more time for everyone?
Oh, the one I mean, there's lots of decent printers out there, but the one I rely on are the Anycubic Mega i3
Okay.
PLA
What?
printers.
Give us a rough idea.
It's like a
cost.
It's like a $200 printer. You can
Okay.
burn it out and buy another one. They work right out of the box.
Very, very cool. And the Elegoo Mars is the best bet for resin.
There's lots of good ones for that too, but that's the one I'm using.
Okay.
So
And Mike, same thing for you, the Elegoo.
Yep, that's I definitely suggest that.
Jeremy, can you spell that? Because we got some questions in there for the PLA.
ELAGOO.
No, the PLA one.
It's just NEANY cubic CUBIC.
NEANY.
And it's
cubic.
the letter I, Mega,
Yeah.
MEGA3, and that's just a
Anycubic.
reference to
Anycubic.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's just a reference to the Prusa model. It's like an open.
Cool.
It's an open design, so it's just the iMega 3 is just sort of a reference to that.
So a question out there from Dan Weirder too, and thank you for that. How long did that last house that you held up take to print overall?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
The last one you held up, the rustic house.
I don't know. I probably fired up 4 or 5 printers and got it. I mean, I do try, going forward, I do try to cut them up so that there's not really too many prints over 12 hours.
Right.
So that's kind of what I go for. But, sometimes I'll stick you with a 24-hour print, and that's just the chances you take with me, I guess.
Well, I know this. When we printed the King's Roads, they were all 20-hour prints.
Yeah. Those are 8-inch squares.
Yeah.
So there's no easy way out of that.
But
It's a lot of betting.
But guess what? It was worth it. It was worth having those. To have, and so and everyone, if you don't know what I'm talking about, let me go back. To have a cobblestone road system set up, and one thing here we go. I'll show it in an actual print use, and here we go again. There it is. Okay, to have that the capability out there, it just shows really well. It does, and you can see Bill did 2 different groutings in that one, right? And one was a little different than the other ones. But
Yeah, one was different. Yeah, because I had brought the sample to your house and forgot it, and then I proceeded on. So,
Icholas, more curious about expense. Once the printers are purchased, is the whole thing at all cost efficient? Jeremy, Mike, Mike? Why don't you answer that for resin first on miniatures?
What's that?
And Jeremy will do terrain. How cost effective is it for miniatures? A resin printer.
Well, I tell you what, you can print up a miniature where usually it costs you about $3-4 to $5 in the store, where you print a resin miniature, it costs you about 3 cents. So there you go. I don't know what else to say. It's besides the initial cost of getting your printer and the resin set up. Once you get it up and running, you're going to be able to print yourself so many miniatures. You're not going to be able to. You already have a bunch of unpainted miniatures in the plastic already. Now you're going to have a bunch of unpainted resin miniatures. That's all I'm going to tell you. It's worth it. It's worth it big time.
Awesome. And Jeremy,
yeah, there's so many really great miniature Patreons out there now that are fantastic.
Note this: we stay away from them and only do mostly terrain and dungeon dressing because of our relationship with Reaper, and so that's why we respect the Reaper deal. But if Mike gives us a Scarns, that's okay. But we really don't patronize.
It's all in the family.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And Canadian Ancient Gamer, I definitely want to do terrain. Definitely, I have everything to do it here. I just haven't delved into it. I've got to get past some of my regular mini commissions and illustrative commissions first. So
excellent. So Jeremy, what are your thoughts on that, on cost effective for what you're doing for the community and patron?
Well, I mean, if it's a big building and it takes half a roll of filament, that's going to be, depending on how cheap you get your filament, that building's still going to end up costing you like $12 probably. So I mean, there's a little more expense there because of the size, but obviously it's a lot cheaper than what it would be if you resin printed that size.
Yeah, or if you were to buy that from a printer, that same building you could print for $12 would cost you $40 or $50.
More than that, Bill.
Well, just depending on the size of the building.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, way more. Look
Plus
at
shipping.
the Reaper boat. When that thing comes out, if it's ever available for retail, that's going to at least be $200. I guarantee it.
Oh, probably if not more.
That thing is huge, and that's nothing. Yeah.
And Pat 66 resin, and Jeremy and Mike, you agree 100%. Miniatures, resin printers are the way to go over PLA for miniatures. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Don't use PLA for miniatures.
Yeah. Use the PLA.
I mean, buildings, the PLA is more expensive than twigs and leaves. It's just a matter of what you want to see on your table, really. And, I think plenty of people can craft real well. It's just a matter of what you enjoy doing. Some people, just want to have a thing and print it out and have it on their board, and they don't enjoy the experience of piecing things together out of a bunch of little parts, so,
Yeah, absolutely. And just so another notation here, this is Thursday night. This is the back end of the entire. And let me show a different angle to explain what I'm talking about here as far as the detail on the board, which is a passion, right? And that's where I think you were going on this, Jeremy, is you have to be passionate about what you do. Here's the front, okay? So if you notice, we got a map by Mars, which came with Miniature Building Authority. This is almost all Miniature Building Authority, their Harbor Town. And I've known Kirk since the early 2000s. He was our first sponsor. But note in the back, this is Hardby, and this was we got these 2 ships from Arsonville Shipworks. They're resin. That company's long out of business. But note, I've done the back area up because I'm anal when it comes to that. I don't want to have just nothing there. And there's the road. I couldn't do that without that road, right? So there's the Gamescape 3D road, and there's some walls that Bill built, and there's a couple more Miniature Building Authority buildings with another underlay underneath and more of the trees that Bill did in the
I get
background.
that goes with the rest of the terrain too. It looks incredible.
Yeah, it's all the big picture when you're talking about what you're doing with the setup. And now I got to tear this all down tomorrow or whenever I get a chance for Thursday's game. So, but
Yeah, that's right.
so Bill will tell you one thing: we're running out of space. And my basement
Yeah.
runs the entire length of the house, Jeremy.
We got to get rid of old stuff to make room for.
I have 20,
stuff.
24 half or full cases of IKEA bookshelves down there, full.
All right, I got to split, guys.
Jeremy, thank you so very much. We'll do the giveaways, and I'll let you know who. Thank you for coming on, man. Really appreciate it.
I hope I didn't.
You were fantastic. I really thank you. Everyone, say goodbye. Good night to Jeremy. Thank you. Please,
great meeting
great to
everyone,
talk to you.
and we'll talk again. Right?
yes, and please Patreon him $3.50 a month for all his great work. And you have a good night, Jeremy. Thank you for coming on.
Jeremy, nice meeting you.
All right, talk to you soon.
Thanks,
All right, bye bye.
Bye bye.
So we got Jeremy. Let me. I'll remove. He's going to remove.
Oh,
I got him. So.
Now my head's bigger. Just what people want to see.
Yes. So let me go back to. So please note that we had Jeremy. I thought we were only going to have him for an hour. We got him for a lot longer. That was awesome.
oh yeah.
Yes.
He was having a good time. That's
Yeah,
right. He was having a real good time. He wasn't sure about it at first. You could tell. He had to dip his toe into the pond and see if anything would, see if that water was a little bit cool or not. That's all it was.
So note this. He's a one-man company.
One
person.
Show. That guy's a worker.
That guy is wonderful, and I was so happy when Bill and I found him online, and I reached out to him, and we just started talking. And we had D&D in common. He's a second edition guy like I am, and it just clicked. And he's done custom stuff for us and some so. But note that I was so happy that he came on because we're gonna try and do more of these crafting shows. Everyone. People really like these, and just switch things up.
It's a shame. I wanted to read him the overgorg lore for him because if he was gonna seriously think about doing the witch's hut, you know what I mean. I think he would have enjoyed the story.
Mike, I definitely think he would. He likes making customer ideas, and if it gets known as the overgorg's hut, people are going to Patreon him, and they're going to buy it for the overgorg.
Like this
100%. I definitely agree with you because how many times have you heard Reaper say that the overgorg is a huge fan favorite? Yeah. And people hunger for that stuff. They hunger for the lore. They want it.
Like this is what I promise to everyone. Amy wants to hear it too. This is what I promise. We will have a series of shows when we have the overgorg painted up, when we have the overgorg ready to go in the storyline, and when we run it, we'll do a pre-Gabbin. Mike will do the story on it. Hopefully, Jeremy will have the hut for us then, and we'll have the whole thing in one big package for everyone, and we'll put it all together in a Gabbin. We'll call the Gabbin the overgorg story or something like that. How's that sound? Everyone good with that? I think that's a cool idea. Don't you think, Mike?
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll do all that together. So
the story is really it's a real quick.
Go for it.
Story. It's not long at all. So whenever you guys want to do it,
if you want to tell it up a little bits and pieces now tonight, that's cool. This is what. Do you have enough format we can email to Jeremy? Because I have his email address. We can just send it to him.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a page and a quarter PDF. It's really small. Like it takes not even 3 minutes to read, I think.
All right. So put it in Discord to me. And do you want to hold off on it's your call? Do you want to read it tonight, or do you want to hold off?
We'll read it later.
Okay.
We'll read it later when you give away the overgorg print. We'll read it.
All right. Yeah, that's a great idea. So, any other questions of Mike and Bill as we've really gone over some really unbelievable things tonight? I'm really happy how this discussion has turned out.
He's gonna make them, Kath. He's gonna make them. I'm telling you, I'm gonna pull on that guy's leg until he does it. I think that's a really great idea, doing the witch's hut, Bill.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, I think that'd be a cool thing. Yeah, and some people could build some really cool dioramas around it.
so the overgorg is not an STL Cathay. It is a Reaper miniature. Let me put it back up. It is a Reaper Mini that is coming out in Bones 5. So you had to pre-order it in Bones 5. They're reopening the Kickstarter though.
Yes, next weekend they're reopening it.
So you can actually go in and order it for Bones 5.
Yeah, it's about a 20% increase over the original Kickstarter, but still that's going to be well below retail.
Yeah.
And then it won't be available for retail. Who knows?
Yeah. So so we will have one shortly, and Bill will paint it up, and we will. Trust me, Jeremy will do that witch's hut. That's not a problem. He's
Nope, that's
such
the
a good guy.
overgorg, boogers.
Yeah.
That's the overgorg. And yeah, he's not a beholder. He's something different, but he's a son of a gun. I'll tell you that. He's definitely tough.
Yeah.
I'd see because somebody I sent you the stats for him, right?
No,
All
you
of
should.
them.
No, I don't have him yet. I don't have him. But
oh,
you know me, I'm going to tweak him anyway for my game. So
Yeah,
but
no, you'll have to because they're 5th edition stats. You'll have to tweak them for your.
I got to make
game,
him 10
but
times harder. Then just kidding.
I have him. Oh, he's already tough. He's super tough. So he's super tough. I have progression stats for him: 5th, 10th, 15th, and 20th.
It'll be a blast when that happens. So
I could see him as a reoccurring
absolutely.
character.
Yeah, Halloween time. That's your one shot at Halloween night right there.
Because those seeds get carried by animals once he's killed to other places.
Right. Anything spills out of him, that's one of his things.
So
one of his seeds turn into overgordlets.
So according to Big Jim, it's not available for pledge reopening because it's part of the core set.
Well, yeah, you can still buy the core set.
You can still buy. I thought you could buy the core set still. Yeah.
Yeah, you can still buy the core set, but you have to buy the core set to get it.
Yeah, absolutely. The core set was like 110 or something.
Not even.
Yeah.
I don't think it was even that high.
Yeah.
But
so note the following. We did
it's worth it.
For last Halloween, we did a great little thing on the Headless Horseman, a little thing on that for those of you who were around then. And we can always tie in, we're going to make it worthwhile for the overgorg. It'll be a fun adventure. So let me do another little foreshadowing. Thursday night, Bill and Alan won't be at the game. So I'm taking that opportunity to do a Saturday night special on a Thursday, right? Because just because it's going to work. And I've had a lot of people come to me begging to get in the game. So I had it limited to two of my players, Tom and Walt, and then Mike, Taryn, and Kayla, Tyler's wife, right? Those 5. Since that time, I have added 3 other people.
Wow. For Thursday?
Yeah.
Holy cow. What kind of one-shotter are we doing?
Right. Oh, it's going to be fun, man. It's going to be fun. Everyone's playing one character. It won't be a big deal. So
it's going to be fun, Mike.
Who are the other 3?
Well, one of them is 50-50. The ever mysterious Tim, okay, who's crazy, right? Casey Brown, who's playing as duelist, and John Birchfield, John from Blue Box, said I got
right on.
Yeah, John said I got to get in on this game. So I was like, all right, John.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, John, and guess who John's playing? You'll never guess, Bill. He's playing a character you haven't seen in 25 years.
Playing one of your characters?
Yeah, you'll never guess. He's
Duncan, the Bard.
You're close. Chelsea of House Springus, the Elven Cleric Thief.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's an old one.
There's no thief in the group, so I threw out, So he's playing a Priest of Hanali Salonon and a thief. Female. Yeah, so that'll be Thursday night. So note that that'll be a fun game on Thursday, and we'll either have 7 or 8. It's fine. I can run that really a one-shotter. It's not.
Well, single characters.
Single character won't be a problem. But we had a lot of people that are like, I got to get in on this game, and I was like, no problem. Tim's 50.
Because Mike, they want to play with Mike.
Yeah. Actually, they all want to play with Taryn.
Really? Hey, there you go. That's awesome.
They want to play with Taryn. They
doesn't
want to play
want-
with Kayla. So, you know, Mike the Legend. It'll be a fun one. So so we'll take the opportunity and we'll have that on Thursday. I'll put the banner up for it soon. So, any other questions from the audience before we do some shout outs and we do the giveaways? Because it's a 9:15. Figure with shout outs and giveaways and stuff, we'll end right at normal time. Hopefully, you got a lot out of this. Jeremy is really, to think about him doing all the crafting and all that, he's pretty much a genius when it comes to, and he's really open. And if you get into his Patreon, you can always ask him questions. He has a Discord too. I do advertise on that when I do stuff for Gamescape in there, into his Discord as well. So he does have that. So it's good company for a one-man show. He really does some good work, so it was nice to have him on. Any other questions before we move forward here? Okay, no other questions. So, is Mike playing his character from the Grand Joust? No, he's not playing Sir Vargren. He's playing Scarn, because the story's all about Scarn.
Oh, really? Is it?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Ooh, wow.
Absolutely. The
So
story.
it's even focused around Scarn.
Well, look at the piece. Look at the piece, Mike. Look at the piece I'm using, and look at what's on top of it.
Woo-hoo.
I'm using this piece Thursday night.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'm using this piece.
That's our playing ground. I can't wait. We're really looking forward to it. Tara and I have been talking about it. It's gonna be fun.
I gave Taryn her.
Yeah, I'm sorry I'm going to miss it, but I have a family obligation. So
I have Taryn. Taryn has Ella Rothschild, a human female paladin, 6th level, a cousin of the Rothschild of Amelia and Tegan Rothschild. So yes, so another Keelandish do-gooder, which is awesome. So because the Winchester family's not big enough, I got to make the Rothschilds just as big, just to drive Bill and Alan crazy. So I know what I'm doing with that. But yeah, we'll have a fun.
All started from the Daring Dragoon.
Yes, from Jack of all trades. Oh, absolutely, that bad TV show. All right, so let's do some shout outs here. I think Jay had like 28 specials last big game. Well, we'll see on this Thursday how many specials we have on Thursday night there. But we're going to have some really good players
here.
Big
stream. Yeah. It's going to be a good stream.
It's going to be a really, really good stream. Adventure 917, Hints of the Past. I was supposed to put this up and I didn't. Here we go. There we go.
Ooh, do a show on how to get started in crafting and painting. Ooh, that's a show in itself, just trying to get started.
Yeah, absolutely. Cathay, so we will continue to do we'll continue to do more shows with crafting on it. I'm not talking about actual crafting as it goes like most painters do. I hope so. Rob. I'm really looking forward to a great show on Thursday. But we're going to be doing having more guests. I'm going to try and get Jimmy on from Infinite Dimensions in the near future. I'm going to try and get Kirk from Miniature Building Authority on, because Kirk has a new Kickstarter that starts next weekend, everyone, for Miniature Building Authority. He has some European buildings coming up. Let me kick his, I don't know if I have it in a shout out or not. Let me go to NBA real quick and throw that up there. So you all know how much Miniature Building Authority I have. I have almost every piece they've ever made of Miniature Building Authority. So, and I know this stuff is pricey, but here's the Kickstarter. Your Village 2021 Kickstarter, The Town Businesses. Okay, and this kicks off July 5th. So that's a new Kickstarter for them. Here's a couple of the new painted buildings, a new inn, and some, they're not STLs. These are actual models. You can get them unpainted and painted. So that's going to start. The Kickstarter will start July 5th and run a month. And it's a great company. It's a 2-man company as well. Miniature Building Authority.
It's cool that they're giving away the models too, and not just the STLs. You know what I mean? Some people don't have the capability to print these out, so now everybody, it opens it up to just a wider array of people to get in on the beautiful terrain that these companies make. So kudos to that company.
And
Yeah.
their stuff is heavy duty resin too. It's very, very durable.
Yeah, and our first ever sponsor, going back Gen Con years ago. Marco met him there, and I said, we got Kirk knew me from Kirk started in like 2000, and we bought almost every. This is what we started with on our table, right, Bill? This is how we did European Villages, was Miniature Building Authority. There was no 3D
Yeah.
printing back in 2000 that you could afford, and this is how we started. And you've seen their ads, you've seen all the stuff that's on my table, you've seen like the downtown Altamira pictures. So if we go to I don't know if I can find it right away here, but give me 1 second here. What was it? What was an Altamira adventure we just did? What number? 912? No, I can't remember.
Tuna fish.
Yeah, I go back and back and back. Let me check. 910. I can't remember which one we did last. But we had the Free City of Altamira. Always have Altamira up and all the other buildings up. Like, all right, here's a good one. This is Forest Green Bastion in the gnarly forest. This is what Miniature Building Authority does great. It's castle walls, right? And there is, look, Jeremy's 3D prints in here too. So I put some other stuff, but all the other buildings in here are Miniature Building Authority. Yeah, and that's all MBA, and that's all resin. That's all hardcore heavy resin. Really
Yeah.
nice stuff. And I got John from Blue Box in on using MBA too. So and that's a small castle setup from them.
Does John have printers?
No, he doesn't. So
No.
This is all, like I said, this is all pre-bought resin stuff.
He's been trying to lure me away.
Yeah, like you're gonna move there. This is the big one. This is that's MBA too. This used to be on my front page. That's MBA. It's all Miniature Building Authority.
Next thing you know, Bill's got a Tennessee or bus sticker on the back of his car.
Yeah, and look at those extra high walls. That's awesome. The extra high walls there. So another thing that we love doing there. So, yep, very cool. So we are fortunate. Well, are they going to feed me on Thursday? I think with people are going to be nice to Kayla and Taryn. Maybe not so to everyone else, but you know that they're going to. Kayla and Taryn get a ton of special hero points, which is really cool.
I hope they'll be nice to me too. I mean, jeez.
So, Bill, what is on your agenda here? We'll do you first, and we'll do Mike second here, and then we'll do the giveaways.
What is on my agenda? Well, I got a long list. I got to finish the ruined fort, and then on to the arena. Well, no, actually, no. Between the arena and the fort, I have to work on a diorama for this bad boy. So this is a Mike Disney paint job.
Yep, there it is.
And I'm going to build a diorama to put him in.
All right,
Somebody's got the picture of that guy.
Yeah, I do.
I saw him.
Yep.
Yeah, let me throw him up. I'll throw him up on the main screen here. I'll stay on this screen so you guys are
And
bigger.
then come next winter, he'll be on the loose.
There's Anna.
Yeah, Anna's been on for a little bit now, and good to see
Yeah, she
Anna.
hopped on.
There you go. Yep. All right. So, really cool.
Thank you.
But yeah, the arena will be the next big thing, and then I'm gonna have to print some more roads and some of Jeremy's new detailed stuff when I get the resin printer up and running.
Now that mini is an unfinished mini because Bill's still got to add to it. That's why the base isn't painted and everything, guys. So you can't judge that mini's paint job because it's not done yet. It's a collaboration with my main man Bill.
Yep, it's gonna go on a nice frosty base and a trail of bodies, the creature left behind.
Yes, with his thumper.
So, every time Bill comes over, he brings stuff. I mean, he brought a whole bunch of painted. I showed some of them tonight. The new Reaper Bones, the scenes that we had. So, Hager, thank you. Yeah, and without Bill, we don't have the game and the setup and the really fantastic notoriety of having the best tables in D&D out there, which is really honor. We're honored to have that. It really is. But
too bad you couldn't take that to like impersonal cons once they start opening it and just have a way to like road trip your terrain and stuff, just for your personal gains, because people would flip over your setup. They would flip. It would be the star of the whole con. You would totally blow it away.
There's an off chance at PAX Unplugged this year in Philly that we will have one of our setups there. Okay,
You should
but things have to
do
fall
it.
into place as
Yep.
far as who's going to be there. Oh, the ever mysterious Tim rears his head.
There he
Tim,
is.
Tim, we were talking. Did you hear? Are you playing on Thursday or not? Because he has a very, very special character he's playing if he plays. Please tell me you're playing Thursday because the comedy relief will be golden with this character. That is a good question. I want a good answer. So,
And you're right, Tim. It is my fault because I bring terrain and monsters that affect what we fight every week.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, Cathay, you're not far from PAX, so Mike, let me one thing, shout outs. Bill's Instagram. Please go to Bill's Instagram and follow him at Instagram/rscorn. Please do that. Get Bill cranked up there with followers there as well. Well, all right, Mike, what's on your agenda, man? What do you got going on?
Just concentrating on the overgorg, getting him painted up, getting the hype for him coming up, because obviously, I mean, it's still a couple of months away, or a few months away, but Halloween is coming right around the corner, and
Yep.
everybody's going to be getting their overgorgs with their Kickstarter. So I want to start hearing the stories. I want to get the stat blocks out there for people. I might post that on your Discord, the stat blocks.
Please do.
Just so
please,
people can
yeah.
have them, other DMs and stuff. And besides that, and just wrapping up some of my commissions so I can start working on more personal projects. I have a coloring book that I'm working on with another streamer named Zambies. And
cool.
I've been doing a lot of work on that. I only have three of the drawings left to digitize, and then we're done. So then we just got to look for a printer, which is something I wanted to ask you about because you have experience printing modules and stuff. Who did you go through for all that?
Well, Carlos.
Oh, okay. Then I'm gonna. If you couldn't get me in touch with him,
Yeah.
I need to get that solved, please.
In fact, I have a meeting with Carlos tomorrow night.
Yeah, please mention that to him if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it.
As everyone knows about, if you don't now, Horror in the Holes is CSL Entertainment's bestseller, and JS1, and the meeting for tomorrow night is to plan JS2, the next adventure we're going to do. So to start planning on that, and that's old school Osric, which is old school Renaissance, So 1E, 2E, that is going to be in. And thank you all those that have purchased it. I know Wiley Hobbit just purchased it recently and just posted that he got it, and all. Thank you so very much for doing that. Thank you, Cathay. Thank you. So, well, Mike, thanks for coming on tonight. I know this has been a fun show. Really a blast.
It's been a great time.
Yeah.
If you want to do that drawing, I can
absolutely
read the lore of the overgorg for everybody that's been wanting to hear it.
Four drawings tonight. Okay. Let me just show you what they are again real quick. And we're going to go in order, and you're going to tell me what you want. The two Mike Disney ones, the overgorg print. Okay. A painted Scarn that's wrapped up, that is table ready, that Mike has painted. I'm not unwrapping it because I don't want to damage it, but I will send it out. Justinius won one a couple weeks ago. You will get a painted Scarn as another one. That's giveaway number 2. Giveaway number 3 is, and this was Jeremy added this on. Oh, and I'm not on the screen to show all this. I'm putting it up and no one's seeing it. I'm a dumbass. Duh. So let me start again. Overgorg print. Number 1, okay? Painted Scarn, number 2, all right? Number 3, that one I got to go to another screen because it's a PDA. This is the ferry diagram, the ferry, okay? The STLs to print out the ferry in its entirety, and number 4. The $60 2x2 tower, which Jeremy says takes 13 rolls. So Have at it. It's $60, by the way, that print. So there you go. All right, Mike.
$60 value. That's huge, man.
Yes.
That's huge.
Yep. Alrighty. So Mike's going to talk, and I'm going to, as Mike's talking, we're going to do these 4 giveaways. Sound like a plan?
All right.
Okay.
Just for anybody in the chat that wanted to hear the overgorg lore, this is what it is. I'm just going to read it for you guys real quick. This was written by Canadian Gecko, who is a good friend of mine, who's another streamer. So here we go. Screeching howls of surprise that racked the willowy frame of the old hag were lost within the monstrous fury that seethed throughout the mob. A dark truce had been broken between the two, and not even she was immune to the consequences. The hag's hunger had greedily fed until a child of theirs had been dead. Their grief at the discovery of this betrayal stoked the flames of the righteous anger that now only saw justice in her demise. Many hands groped over her body, searching to gain purchase on cloth, flesh, green hair, for any part that fingers could grip. Writhing like an eel brought to shore, she was dragged from her den into the open gnarled patch that marked the edge of her home. The open expanse was a better view for the jeering crowd and more room for her final end. In a frenzy of action, a heavy stone was placed upon her feet, and from the crowd a stern kick given between her shoulders, which sent her sprawling forward into the mud of her patch. 2 men on either side held her arms to the earth, ensuring that she remained in her forced prostration. The hag's sharp fingers futilely gnarled into the soil with wild protest. It was only when she aligned her chest and neck upon a pumpkin butcher's block that did she become aware of their final intention. Although it went unnoticed, the hag's expression stilled, her fingers relaxed. She became deathly calm. The only movement on her body was that of her pale green lips. Whatever words escaped them were utterly lost within the crescendo of the jeering excitement. The father, a made executioner by circumstances, felt no weight as he raised a heavy wood axe above his head. He paused only for a moment, not out of hesitation or compassion, but to ensure his full force was gathered. The flash of silver through the air ended in a sickening thud as it cut through ease and hag and pumpkin flesh alike. All sound and movement ceased in one moment. For there, what felt like a world at whole, the silence thick and charged like counting moments between lightning and a release of thunder. No man dared move in their victory while the long red fingers of blood stretched from their prison within the hag. They painted the ghastly pumpkin, and they were guided away by the water troughs of the garden. The executioner, with hands still on the hilt of his axe, watched the spreading blood mirroring as a singular, sudden understanding that was settling within his mind. If you are not careful with how you destroy evil, you can cause the infection to spread. This thought would be his last. The silence was invaded by a sudden low hissing. The hag's body expanded grotesquely, bloated like an old corpse with her stringy robes. As the men recoiled, expecting the body to split, it twisted and washed into air as a heavy black mist. The smell of rot hung heavy within their lungs, the air darkening and becoming thick around the men, isolating and choking them in a disorienting black swirl. A new clamor now shattered the silence. The outcry of soulless howls and deep anguish screams echoed around them from the air. It too twisted in intangible wisps and mocking echo to the previous sounds of the taunting mob, not mere moments before. The noise leaked like air escaping a balloon deep from within the axe wound of the dripping pumpkin. The seams of the pumpkin snapped and split into a cruel mouth filled with even crueler teeth. Below the axe, which remained still pierced into the flesh, a singular eye rolled open, blazing awake with the fires of hell. The last pumpkin rose from the ground like a corpse returning from the dead. As it rose, the thick red fingers of the hag's blood writhed with new life, connecting the smaller pumpkins they had pulled beneath. They in turn followed with the air, jeering with new faces that echoed their larger master. The large central pumpkin looked up upon the cowering men with the malicious delight. The smaller pumpkins fanned above it like a terrible crown, each united with their sole purpose, death to the crowd. The dazed horror that had held the man in place fell away as they looked into the eyes of what they saw with calculating bloodlust. The men scattered all too late before this new creation. They're running in terror. They're fighting back. They're begging for their lives were all futile. The field became a chorus of wet streams and shattering bones. The only sound able to rise above was the deep, grinding, bellowing laughter of sheer ecstasy from the overgorg.
Awesome.
Nice.
So, Mike, your two went first. The overgorg went first, print, and Scarn went second.
Whoop!
All right. Damn Weirdo has to pass. So, Damn Weirdo, this is what I'll tell you. If you do ever get a printer, I will hook you up with some Gamescape 3D files in the future. How's that sound? Okay? I will help you out and get you set up going. All right? So, awesome. All right, cool. Oh, I already do have it, Toadzard. Thank you. That's great. Okay, so next winner. Yeah, so let me know, man. I'll help you out, and Jeremy won't have a problem with that. All right, next winner. Winner. Cannibal Troy. Troy, I don't think Troy had it. Pass. Okay, that's what I thought. All right. Troy likes to win and then just pass anyway. Nagul is on. Nagul, do you have a 3D printer? Yes, Nagul, do you have a 3D printer? We got 2 3D printer giveaways still. You got to have a 3D printer. Okay, do you want the tower or the ferry? Your call. Which one do you want? The ferry will be easier to print. The tower is 13 rolls, but the ferry will be easier to print. But you may want the tower for mass. Your call. You just tell me which one. And the last winner, tower. Okay, and the last winner is Fraley. I think Fraley's got one too.
Fraley.
Not Ghoul. Yep.
Person right there.
Yeah. Tower. Fraley, you get the ferry. Fraley. I know. I'm almost positive he has one. Yeah, there you go.
Fraley gets the ferry.
There you go. So Fraley and Nagul, please make sure I have your email address. Whisper it to me or Discord it to me so I can link the Dropbox to you. Okay? All right. Sound good? So, wow. Thank you all for a great show tonight. Hopefully you really like this. I love going in different directions. Quick shout outs. Wednesday night's Legends and Lore is going to be fun. It is Meta Orgs. Casey Brown will be with us. It's a Living Greyhawk. I know of one Living Greyhawk triad at least. It's going to be on us, and we're going to talk about the meta organizations that were created in Living Greyhawk. That is Wednesday night, 8 o'clock. Thursday night is the big game. Hints of the past. You're going to see some really fun people playing in that. The only one who's not confirmed is the ever mysterious Tim. All right, but Kayla's in. She'll be playing Tegan. Mike's playing Scarn. Taryn is playing Ella Rothschild.
Can't wait to hop on and see the conclusion.
Yeah, Tom is playing Murok, the Clark Mage. Walt is playing his Dwarf Shield Thane. Okay. John is playing Chelsea, a Clark Thief. Who am I missing? And Tim.
And we know Mike is playing Scarn.
Mike's playing Scarn.
Oh, yeah.
And if Tim plays, Tim will be playing his gnome fighter, Fred the Farty.
Fred the Farty. What the?
Who specialized in throwing dart. So, yes.
Fred the Farty.
Yes, that'll be the comedy relief. That's, yeah.
When did he make this character? When he was
30 years ago.
13 years
No, probably when he was 22.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yep. So the Shield Thane will be in that too. So all right, and then next week's Gabbin is to be determined. Note the following: Dennis Tetro Malden has finally given me a date. 3 weeks from today is going to be the specialty priest Gabbin that we've been trying to get for 6 to 9 months. That'll be on the July 18th. All right. I haven't done a batter up. He just confirmed a little while ago on that. Here's some other special things. Please.
That'll be a good show.
Yeah, that'll be a real good show. Let me go back to 13 here. Yeah, it'll be a great one. And we're going to invite Eric Boyd, the creator of the Specialty Priest, too. So the not spectacular old school adventure fundraiser benefiting St. Jude is in 2 weeks, or 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, 3 weekends. Eric Mona and James Jacobs have both confirmed they're playing in this. Stella's playing in this as well. I am going to be running the not so spectacular adventure Gargoyle. John at Blue Box, I think, is going to run puppets. And we're going to, whatever we get will be a bonus for St. Jude. Okay. So really looking forward to helping them out. Tim's adventure is next Saturday morning. Session 1, Desperate Land. I know Patrick, Canadian Ancient Gamer, is playing in it. I think Prometheus is in it. Kayla's in it. And a couple other people are in that. That is next Saturday morning, 10 a.m. I'll be just producing it. All right. And David, I need to talk to you. I have a question for you about the long road when you get low road when you get a chance. All right. I need a question for you. You're up late too, by the way, which is cool. And then lastly, if you have not signed up yet for Virtual Greyhawk Con, well, you can't sign up because it's not open yet. Duh. Virtual Greyhawk Con sign-ups start July 1st, next week. I have the entire schedule worked up. So Mike starts it off again, right, Mike? You're going to Mark's. So I want to show it real quick, and then we'll call it a night, okay? Friday night. This is last year's. That doesn't help me, you dumbass. Sorry, I'm talking to myself, Jay. Here is the schedule. Art of Mike Disney starting it off. Time Lord's Wife at 10. Troller Games at 1 and a special show at 5 with Stephen Chenault. Anna Meyer's Maps. This is day 1, 6. Blue Box, the main show on Friday night to be determined. That is an Armin from New Zealand taking the overnight shift for day 1. These are just the highlighted streams. Day 2, highlighted streams. Tim, being between a rock and a hard place, is High Level Barbarian, 7 a.m. Superior Adventures Guild at 10 a.m. Stella at 12. Praetor's Rejects with Mandy DMing Tomb of the Lizard King in 5e with open sign. These all have open signups, by the way. 3 p.m. The main event, the Grand Melee competition Altamira at 6 p.m. And Armin finishing it up again late night. We may throw some other late night streamers in there as well. All right.
Well, at least I know when I have to have the arena done by.
What's that, Mike?
Where are the signups at? Because I'd like to get in on some of these games.
They're not even in. They're not even in this. The signups begin August 1st. So we will. Yep, August 1st. Sunday. Okay. Lawful Stupid will be at 8 a.m. And they're from the UK. Wily Hobbit at noon. The second Blue Box game at 3. And we always finish it up with a Greyhawk Ask the Experts. I'll be inviting some real special guests in there. There's Mandy. There you are, Mandy. Good to see you, Mandy, from Praetor's Rejects. So Mandy is on. I'm glad to see you on. Yeah, I mentioned you. Yeah, you got that. You got that big time slot Saturday, man. I can't wait. Can't wait to see you DMing that game. So good to see you on. So that is just the highlighted streams. Please register as early as possible. And if you're DMing, you can DM streams that are not highlighted. It's fine. If you want to do more streams on your channel, that's fine. We will promote them. But I just had to get a schedule set up. Please note that. We want to get as many streams as possible set into Greyhawk Con. All right. Let me just put this up for now. So awesome, Patrick, for doing that. We wanted to get them in. So next week is your signups and your DMs start putting in events. Greyhawk Reborn is participating again. I am reaching out to people of renown from the old school days that have been on my shows to DM. Alan Hammack already said he'd DM Ghost Tower of Inverness, which is he wrote it, right? Okay, so we're reaching out to all these people. Note that that's what we're trying to do this year. We're going to ask some people who have not participated before, big names, to DM. So really looking forward to it. All right, I've babbled on enough. So who are we going to raid tonight? You know what? I'm going off the board. Okay, we're going to raid someone who's on, and I want to surprise the shit out of them. Our oldest non-friend subscriber is playing World of War. I don't care. It's not a game. I want to do it. The Naz is streaming right now. We're gonna raid the Naz. So Tim's gonna be shocked when he sees us come in. All right, it's a Sunday night. Let's do that. Let's raid in to see and just give him a follow. Everyone knows Tim the Naz. He's one of our greatest subscribers. 35 months, and he's not even an old school guy. He's a 5e guy. So yeah, isn't that perfect, Anna? So we'll see you all Wednesday night. I got 4 streams next week. Looking forward to it. Mike, Bill, thank you for a great show. Thank you, winners. Thank you, Jeremy. Reach out anytime. Thank you. So we'll see you. Let's get a monster raid in for is Jay gonna hit a wrong button? Probably. Hitting this. See you all Wednesday night. Have a good night. Thanks, guys. All right, raiding in. Gonna raid into the Naz. It's gonna. Oh, look at this. That's awesome. That's awesome. It's 20 times what his viewers were. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thanks a lot, everyone. See you in a couple days. Oh, God. I can't wait to see his face.
Yeah, it goes right to commercial.
Are you kidding me? Oh, well. I gotta put the sound up so I can hear him.
Oh, is he playing video games?
Yeah.